and welcome to 8-Bit Bastards, Episode 7, Part 2. We're going to finish off E3 here today, and then move into games, what we've been playing. First, we want to take a second to plug, Justin, some of our people that have helped us along the way so far. Jacob, I know you wanted to plug not just Kimberly, but...
Wow, really?
I know that you want to go that way, because that's why you don't like it, right?
No, it's just a weird word.
God.
But continue.
All right, so we're going to plug my brother-in-law, Rob Crowd, has been did the music for us, so the intro music for Season 1 is done by my brother-in-law, which is pretty awesome music. We all agreed that it has a nice 8-bit vibe to it. We also want to give a shout-out to Eric the Red. He is the one that has done our 8-bit graphics for our website. And we would also like you to start visiting our website as well, which Jacob has put a lot of effort into, and we're going to start cleaning up, and we're going to get Eric the Red to help with us some. The website is 8bitbastards.com, and it's actually spelled out 8. You can't just put the number 8, you have to spell it out. So visit that. Hit us up on Facebook as well. Got a Facebook page. And the last person is...
Scott Narber and Steve Sears of the Curtain Jerks podcast has helped us out a lot. They're a wrestling comedy podcast, and they are fantastic. If you like wrestling, even if you don't, these guys are really funny.
Awesome. Kind of the inspiration for us to wanting to do a little bit of a podcast is Dave and Buddy. And their podcast, There Goes an Hour on the Hoopla Productions, which is very entertaining as well. So check them out also.
I thought it was Sorry We're Closed. They have like 10 of them.
Oh yeah,
Sorry We're Closed is the one that Dave and Buddy do.
Oh my bad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm an asshole.
There Goes an Hour is Buddy and
John.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's a more serious one. Sorry We're Closed.
Dick and fart jokes.
Yes, dick and fart jokes.
That's awesome.
I like
Very
Dick and fart jokes.
They're both great.
Who doesn't? Oh, so real quick, Dick and fart jokes to the nth degree is the End of the World movie. Not World War Z that I just saw.
This is the End?
This is the End. It's hilarious.
I bet.
I want to see it.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's really good. So check out This is the End. It's really good. E3 and PS4. We'll start off with the games. Exclusive PS4, Order of 1866 or whatever. Justin, I figure at this point in time you would want to talk about it because it's a werewolf game.
And see, that my thing. Are we sure it's werewolves? I mean, I like werewolves, don't get me wrong, but...
It's werewolves. You can pretty much bet there was werewolves in the smoke. They look like werewolves. Even I think online you can read the reviews. It says they're werewolves.
Maybe demons?
I just like the fact somebody brought it to my point that technically the electricity gun that they show in the trailer would not be too out of time frame, seeing you do have Nikola Tesla like back in that time era. So I guess I'm not as upset with it being, instead of just being called The Order, like, because I hate it when they put a number on a game and it doesn't follow the timeline that's actually there. But I don't know, it looks really good. I don't know if I'm picking it up on launch, so I want to see gameplay.
I want to play it. I would like to see, like you were saying, I like to see gameplay, cinematics. But that's kind of the thing, too, when we saw it with Rise. Like, you see those great cinematics and then go straight into gameplay, so they're both. So that could have been gameplay, you just don't know. I mean, obviously it might be a cinematic to the gameplay, but that's the graphics you're going to see.
I know that you had a concern about, they have guns in this type of game with the time period and stuff, and it's a little early for Nikola Tesla. I think he was born in 1878 or something like that, and he died in the early 1900s or whatever. We can look it up later or whatever, but... I mean, it's a fantasy, it's a video game, and I understand that, you want it to have a little bit period specific, but again, if it moves like the Metal Gear game or whatever, or is that the one where it's like the cinematics, it moves just right into gameplay? That could be really awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they probably should have just left the year out of it. Would have solved a lot of problems.
Yeah, because then we could have just Dishonored. You would have just given it would have been that Dishonored feel. It's done that way.
It's a steampunky feel to it, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they could do this. It could be a time thing. Like if they make a second one, it's the order, and it might give a newer year. So they're different orders, but through time.
That could be cool.
I just hope it's better than Legendary. Just gonna say.
I liked Legendary. It wasn't a horrible game. I will sit there and argue with you on it. It was not that bad. It really wasn't. For what it was, like, I didn't expect it to be a grade A shooter, but for, like, when I played the demo sold me enough that I went and spent $10 and sat there and laughed while I shot Minotaurs' heads off and shit.
The controls were so broken.
No, don't get me wrong. They were trash.
It's at the store for $10 and I almost got it today because it looks cool. I like mythology stuff. No? Don't.
I like mythology stuff. Don't.
No, don't. The next one was Killzone. Shadowfall, I think it was called, and it looked pretty sick. I liked how all the colors they added into it now. It's not so drab and gray. This could be the first Killzone that I'm really excited about.
Killzone 1 was awesome. I loved the first Killzone. I only got to play a little bit of the second one, and that does look. I love the universe of Killzone. I think it's a very interesting universe.
I played the first Killzone, thought it was absolutely awful.
I
Brad
agree.
and I, we played it on, it was a PS2, wasn't it? We
PS2.
had it.
Yeah.
And we played it, and I was just like, this game is shit.
The controls are broken.
Yeah.
It's so drab looking. The story is lackluster. I thought the game sucked ass.
Wow,
too.
thanks, guys.
Yeah, the first Killzone wasn't too impressive.
I didn't mind the second one. The third one even was a good bit better.
That's where you have the
But-
mechs.
I think so. It had mechs in it. Like
You
I know
flying
it's
around in a
serious.
mech or something?
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, and this is where you guys might hate me. I don't know. I'm not impressed with the title. It looks like fucking Far Cry with like super tech. Like the guy Ripline to the drop on with a knife. Guess what? I did that in Far Cry 3 already. There was a lot of it that I saw that just wasn't that impressive. I do like the idea that when he throws the drone and it scanned out the level and it showed like where certain enemies were and all that. Nice aspect. But once again, still falls to Far Cry, busting out your binoculars, just spotting everybody, and then running around the woods, sticking them with your pig sticker.
Same with Crysis.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing though. The game still looked very good. I'm sure if, like Jacob said, there's a crap ton of people that love Killzone for the universe setting. So I'm sure it'll do very well. I just wasn't overly impressed.
I might be seeing Killzone 1 through, rose-colored glasses because I was much younger.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, that it was a pretty cool game. And it was a pretty interesting shooter compared to everything else that was out there.
Yeah, because everything was Call of Duty Medal of Honor, or Medal of Honor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, mine with it was I remember back in the day when it used to be called, when that title first was coming out, they were like, this is the Halo killer. And I was like, that's a
Yeah.
bold-ass statement. 'Cause
It was
I'm not
not.
even a big Halo fan, but it was a very big claim for something that just didn't live up to what I thought. But that
Well-
doesn't affect with this, because obviously the titles have done well. I mean, well enough that Sony's carried it over to fucking 4 IPs now. I mean, they got 4 titles for it, and they've done, handheld installments, I think, 2. They got a Vita and the PSP one, so...
Yeah. And I play, and the Vita one's pretty solid. I have a lot of trouble with the controls. Are very difficult to master because the little thumbsticks are so tiny, even with my little baby hands. They're still tough, but it's still pretty fun. It feels very solid. There's a lot of replay value because you can upgrade your guns and stuff in it, and that's kind of cool. So, Jake.
Speaking of Call of Duty, remember I think last episode you said you don't want Call of Duty 19? Well, this is Call of Duty 19. I went on Wikipedia and looked.
Really?
Ghost is the 19th Call of Duty.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
kind of eerie.
And I just threw that number out there.
Yeah.
I literally did not know.
Because I was listening to it and I was like, I wonder how many there are.
It's my favorite prime number, 19.
And there's been like 2 or 3 that have been canceled.
Because 1 and 9 make 10, which are 1 and 0 for computers. That's the only thing you need.
Really?
Binary code.
Binary
Really?
code.
I've seen that episode
So
of
that's why I like
Big
19.
Bang Theory too, where he explains that.
Yeah, that's why I like 19. So.
Nerd.
All right, so let's move on. Infamous, Second Son. Do we need to talk
I
more
got a
about
boner.
it?
Just saying the
It
name.
looks fantastic.
Yeah.
The character model, I'm pretty sure he is Bam Margera, but despite that, it looks good.
Did he die?
No,
What?
it was Ryan Dunn. May
I'm sorry, I'm
man
sorry.
rest in peace.
Okay.
May random hero rest in peace. That's all
He
I
was
have
funny.
to say.
He was a funny guy.
He was a good man.
Yeah, that does
Absolutely.
suck.
But no, with Infamous though, the only worry I have, and I'm sure everybody that's listening to this podcast knows that I'm a retarded big Infamous fan. I'm really, really nervous that they're trying to go with that Assassin's Creed 3 feel. They're making him, he has Indian descent. It's going to be set in Seattle, so it's going to be a little bit more woodsy than the first Infamous. And even the second Infamous, you were in Louisiana, which was a little backwards because it was really watery, and electrical water in it.
I hated those parts where you had to go out in the
Yeah.
bogs.
It was pointless. It was aggravating as hell. Like I said, that's the only part that makes me nervous because they say it's still going to have the climbing like Infamous. He's still going to be doing parkour and all that craziness. So
Now, you said this was a system seller. They announced that it wasn't coming out till Q1, but I was able to pre-order it. So when is this really coming out?
I've heard that it's supposed to be day one. It's
Okay.
still as far as I've been told, it's still day one. Everything I still see for it's day one.
I was watching an interview online when they were still doing the week of E3, and I actually text Brad, and the voice actors they're like, "Oh, when do you expect to come out?" And they're like, "Q1 is," and that's what they were saying. But like Brad and I were saying too is, it says you can pre-order it now, but if it's Q1, then that's kind of a lot of things we be getting mixed signals on time when it's coming out.
Well, flip side of that though, you also have to understand voice actors don't necessarily mean just because they voice act for video games that they even play the video games they voice act for.
That's true.
I have met a couple of these people. They're going to conventions and stuff, and some of them might have been like, "Yeah, I've voice acted for 20 video games," but they don't play any video games. They don't know shit about the industry that they work for. And that's my point. Like, he said quarter one doesn't mean that it's not day one. Because that's technically the first quarter for the system.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, there's still, if you go Amazon, any of those websites that are doing pre-orders for the system, it's still listed on their websites as a day one title with the game.
But that's not quarter one for the year. I don't think quarter one's, that's fourth quarter because the year is broken 4 quarters. So, well, I mean, if it's, it might, I don't know, that seems kind of weird. I don't think Sony would do a launch title. Like, you can only get Infamous, you know, as a launch title, but then for everyone else that wants to get it after the fact, you have to wait till quarter one. I don't think they would like break it up like that. It's just an inconsistency that seems
I'm saying I think it's just coming out day one. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like you have to only get it day one, and if you don't, then you don't get it. I think it's just coming out day one with it. They've put too much focus on it for it not to be with Drive Time, Knack, and all those other games.
Yeah, and that's what it seems like, that it is a system seller, so it's got to be out. And the next game in order was Knack, which looks really neat. It looks fun. It looks like a new-esque version of Ratchet and Clank.
Knack is pretty much one of the reasons I'm getting a PlayStation 4. Because I love Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and all that stuff, and this is finally a return to all that. Because those games are coming so diluted.
Oh yeah, I agree. And it's nice to see, because I'm not a platforming person. I really don't care for platforming games, but I do miss playing the old Crash Bandicoot games that I played on PlayStation 1. Like, they weren't horrible titles. Like, they were entertaining the first playthrough.
Yeah.
The fact Knack looks like that, on top of the fact, not gonna lie, going back in history a little bit, the head developer for the title, I'm pretty sure, or producer or whatever, was one of the guys that helped make Toe Jam and Earl. He was one of the founders of Toe Jam and Earl back in the day on Sega Genesis, which I loved as a child. So, not gonna lie, I'm gonna buy the game regardless just because of that.
Justin?
What I saw of it looked pretty cool, but I played enough of those games as a kid. Like, I honest to God, never touched a Ratchet and Clank before. I've never touched a Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, none of those. They just didn't appeal to me. I played all that shit already. I don't need to play it again.
So, my thing is that, yes, it's a kid's game, but is it really, not because of its look, and maybe I'm judging it because of its look, and I shouldn't be judging it because I always say I don't really care about graphics, and maybe deep down I do. Should this be a budget title? Should it be a $30 game?
I think it is.
Well, see, I don't know. I think it's still $60, but I think one of the main reasons you're seeing it on launch, though, is that also with the fact that the guy from Toe Jam and Earl he's also higher ups for Sony now. Like, I think he helped develop the PS4, so you'd be probably seeing it come out because he was right there helping develop the system. So he had access to all the stages of development. So he's probably been wanting to work on this title. That they probably look at it the same as a Camino or any of those other platforming games that you usually see them drop right around the beginning of a system, just to see what happens. If it takes off, then they go with it. If not, they'll just abandon it.
Well, and that's kind of my thing, is like Camino for 360 when it came out, like, those games fizzle out. Like, look at the outfit. Look at all those games that came out initially for systems. They're okay, because that's like the first game you see for the system, and then they become the shit that no one wants to think. How many of those sat on the wall, 6 months after the 360 came out? Dozens of those things get returned.
There's only one golden nugget. I mean, when the original Xbox came out, how many great games were there, when it launched? 1 or 2. There's like Halo, and that was all there was.
Halo and Amped, if you're...
Halo and Amped, yeah. So.
Amped was fantastic. One of the greatest snowboard games ever, besides Cool Borders. I'll say that.
So I'm going to jump here. The next thing in the press conference, they did that Dark Sorcerer thing, a little funny skit and stuff. I think we can skip that. Do we want to talk about that?
I think we already touched base on it with the last one.
Okay, so
I watched it. It was interesting.
Okay, so let's skip that and move to Transistor. I think it was the next game.
It was Super Big or Super Giant Games made it.
And there was some ones that did Bastion, and it really felt like it was just Bastion 2.0 with a girl.
I don't know. It looked really good. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it'll be an interesting title. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's something to go buy the system for. But I really enjoyed Bastion. Like, I enjoyed Bastion a lot. And the fact that these guys are doing a game again, and the fact that their budget's even better than it was last time. Like, they said that, they scraped by just to make Bastion, and they do it to my parents' basement or whatever. Like, and that game was glorious.
No, it's an awesome game. Yeah. I think that, if it is Bastion 2.0 with a girl this time, and they have more money and they have more support behind them, they could make even a better game. But it's just different to see that it feels very much like, they're in their niche and they're going to make games just like that. It's, so that's sometimes kind of disappointing that a developer won't move into something new because it's safe. Like we've talked about this before, they know how to do it, they know it'll make money and sell, so they've got to do that type of game.
That was, when they showed it, was like the little girl with like a poncho-looking thing running around. It looked like an old Zelda. Like, that's what it kind of reminded me. It was an old Zelda game. Even my daughter was like, "Is that Zelda?" We were watching E3 together, and I'm like, No, but good call. I mean, it was almost kind of like a Link to the Past with the kind of top view, running around looking for stuff. I know it's not a Link to the Past, but that's.
Well, no, it's not that. I'm not doing. The music, man. I'm telling you, the music's stuck in my head.
Jacob, anything on that one?
No.
Okay.
I haven't got to finish Injustice yet. Or Bastion. Sorry, I was just looking at my notes as Injustice.
Don't you have Bastion on Steam?
Yes.
You got it in Humble
It's
Bundle.
on my backlog. I need to play it.
Yeah, you need to play it. All right, so next one was Mercenary Kings, and to be honest, I don't remember what this was about.
Neither do I.
Was that the one where it was like a Smash TV gameplay? I'm trying to remember back because
I know, I can't remember.
Was
that
it
one.
like the top IV? I can't remember. Did it have the 3 characters? Is it like you had 3 characters to pick?
Yeah, I honestly have no clue.
Let me see your list.
Blank,
real fast.
See the list.
We're like taking notes.
We're struggling here. I mean, it's been a while since we watched it, but obviously, if none of us can remember it that much, if none of us can remember that much, it must have not left a big
Kings
impression.
wasn't that impressive. No, what I'm thinking of is Secret Ponchos.
Secret Ponchos. You want to move to that one?
Well, no, because Octodad
Okay,
looks
talk about that.
crazy as shit. I don't even know what it's about, so I don't even know what to talk to. Like, I really don't know what to say about it other than what Justin did, other than the fact that
it's just rolling around squid making weird fucking moves.
So I just walk around as this octopus dad, and like it showed him go in the closet, change into a suit, and then he just walks out. And I just love the fact that it looks like you were walking around with a rag doll. Because it reminded me of being drunk in Grand Theft Auto 4. Because that was my favorite time of playing Grand Theft Auto 4 was when I'd go to the bar.
Did it feel a little bit like Katamari Damacy too?
Not really. Because Katamari is so... God, it's such its own thing. It kind of had that look like a weird indie game like that. But I don't think the dad's goal is to acquire a massive object or anything like that. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, they really didn't say what it was about. They were just like, Octodad! And then they showed this octopus walking around looking crazedly drunk.
The only thing I saw was the Octodad walks over, like, pushes a button, and everybody starts dancing. And that right there, I was interested, like, alright, show me more.
That was the trailer. It just showed a bunch of random stuff.
Well, this is the point in the conference where they started flying through, and they were like, game. And so they were flying through all these indie developers or small developers that they're obviously going to give a chance to, which is awesome because we're going to get those games like we talked about before. I don't have to get Call of Duty 19. I can get, Octodad from the smaller publisher developer as a $20 downloadable budget title and get something unique and fun. So I think that's kind of cool that they did that. So the next one was Secret Ponchos.
Secret Ponchos. I don't know the full gist of it. I just know that the game looked like it played like Super Smash TV from Super Nintendo. I love God's Eye view games where it's just motion on one stick and then random buttons to make you shoot in all directions on the other. You played as 3 different characters. One of them was like this weird looking luchador looking guy that had a big sombrero on. I don't know, from the gameplay trailer that they showed, because like you said, at this point they were kind of hopping really fast. I was instantly sold.
I wrote down Too Human because
I love Too Human.
That game was so terrible.
You were smoking meth. I love Too Human.
When you push the button in one direction to fight and stuff, I was like, oh, that stupid slide and using the buttons to attack, it's so broken.
It was, but I love Too Human. I really wish they would have made a second one. It deserved a sequel.
I'm sad that the Silicon Knights went out of business basically because of that failure of that game.
Well, no, it wasn't the failure of that game. It's the fact they stole the Unreal system for another game after that they made.
Yeah, because they got sued and they and Too Human, it's worth like $30 or $40 now.
You can buy it from your local GameStop for $2.99.
You should buy those because they said they're going to go up in value because of all those properties.
You have to find the ones with the cases. That's the problem, finding the original cover art.
Yeah. Cover art with inserts and everything like that. They said they could be worth some money eventually because of
when it first happened. I couldn't keep it in stock.
The rights to Too Human are in limbo. Like nobody owns it, nobody can have it. So.
The franchise has a following. I don't give a shit how anybody feels about that game. The franchise, we all work retail, and I can tell you this, at least once a month I hear somebody come to my store and go, why didn't they ever make a sequel to Too Human? And I'm like, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
It was a great concept. It
was a good single-player experience. I didn't like when you play 2-player, you were both the same dude. That doesn't make sense. There was too many holes in it. If it was polished, it'd have been a fantastic game. Because the whole slide thing wasn't that bad. Because think of some of the games that you played with a stick, like the Jet Li game. Jet Li game was awesome. The way he fought like that, shut up, it was good.
But as much as I would love to sit here and argue about Too Human, let's get back to the E3 stuff.
All right, very good. Outlast.
Didn't pay any attention. Well, it didn't really catch my eye.
Okay. Outlast?
Don't remember. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The next one was a zombie one, and I missed the name of it.
It's a zombie game. No one cares.
Okay.
Mine from the indie game. Let's just get to the one that probably everyone will care about. Is Abe.
Yeah, Oddworld.
Oddworld.
Yes, Abe. I mean, let's just get
Abe.
right to him. I mean,
Yeah.
2 years ago there was a Game Informer article that was published discussing with the creator of the series what happened to it, like why it just disappeared and we never got to see another Abe game. And he just said that that there wasn't people there was the cult fan base, but it wasn't because it wasn't a big IP. It didn't move copies like Call of Duty that he couldn't. They really couldn't afford to keep doing it. The fact that Sony scooped this man up and was like, no, we're going to let you redo all your games makes me so happy. So happy. I love Abe's Odyssey. I played those games for 2 years. They were hands down some of the hardest games I've ever played in my life. That was Dark Souls before Dark Souls and Demon Souls. You played Abe's Odyssey and you sat there furious because you couldn't fucking complete a level, but you were laughing because you were farting or fucking taking over somebody's mind and fucking run them in front of the guy with the gun, or you would take over the guy with the gun's mind and make him jump off the fucking end of things or just run around and shoot people. Oh my god, I can't wait to play this game on PS4.
Jacob?
It's almost like Sony's realized, hey, we have a lot of power. We should let these other developers, let's give them a chance. We'll still make money. Maybe Abe will become a much bigger than a cult following kind of thing, and they'll make a lot of money off of it.
Yeah, they're just fun games. I think that if now they have some support and they have a huge platform and that cult following can bring in more mainstream. I think that's what you're talking about is, get more people playing it. I think it could do very, very well. I'm excited about it as well. It looks awesome.
Well, I mean, think about it. We all enjoyed it, but do you think a 13-year-old kid now will enjoy it? No.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Because they're too saturated with the shit games we have now. It's not Assassin's Creed. It's not Call of Duty. It's not Halo. So that's going to kind of throw them off, I feel, personally.
Well, no. Obviously, with Dark Souls, Demon Souls, they made Dark Souls. They're making Dark Souls 2. There's certain games that people are looking forward to only due to difficulty.
But the thing is that game isn't known for its difficulty. It's known for its uniqueness. You never played a game where you really didn't do anything. You stood there, hummed a little chant, and a portal opened and a guy jumped through it. That was the level. It was to avoid things and to make sure your people got to a certain
Did you ever beat it?
No, I never did.
That's why you're saying that. That's why you're saying that. I truly feel the reason you did doubt the addictiveness of it is because you didn't get further into it.
I think that eventually even the 13-year-olds are going to get saturated and bored with playing Call of Duty 19, playing Assassin's Creed 45, and playing Battlefield 97. They're going to get bored of those eventually, and they're going to grow up, and they're going to be like us, just like you said. Yeah, NAC looks fun, but I played that when I was 13. I want something more now. I need something with more substance. Those 13-year-olds are going to become you one day, and they will enjoy these games.
The creepy thing is that they're going to be us and be like, I don't want to play Call of Duty. I played that when I was 13. I'm really looking forward to the new Banjo-Kazooie. What the
Oh god, I hope Rare never regains that fucking stupid franchise. I hated Banjo-Kazooie. Because that stupid bear didn't do a fucking thing. It was the bird. The bird did everything.
No.
I hated him. Oh god.
Now this is what...
Yes, I hated it.
Alright, as long as I'm not the only one to hate those
So now,
games.
Brad, back on track here. You said that this was important and significant, and Justin said that he might be willing to go back and give this game another try. I wrote down, who cares? Because just like Batman coming out on the Wii U, it had no implications whatsoever for anything, was Diablo 3.
Don't get me wrong. The main reason I'm going to play it on PS3 and PS4, and the reason I say it is because I think it comes out on PlayStation 3 a month and a half probably before it's going to come out on the PS4 if the timeline's proper.
You're going to waste $120?
I don't know yet. Don't give me that guff, but maybe. It's possible.
Is it DLC or is it a disc?
It's disc.
Oh, is it?
It's physical.
So,
but
tell me.
They got rid of the live auction house, so that stupidness right there is out of question already, which I liked. But no, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big Diablo 2 fan. I played Diablo 3 on PC. I didn't play a lot of it. I played roughly through the first act at Justin's house. I sat there for 3-4 hours. It's all it really took me to run through the first act. It didn't take long, and I wasn't impressed. They kind of nerfed the game, didn't make it as advanced. You were very more customizable in the second one. I cannot wait though to play it on a controller.
That's my thing as well. Is I think Brandon played more of my character on Diablo 3 than I played. I played about through the first act, and then Brandon got, I think, all the way to the end there for me because he really liked playing it, and I thought it sucked. Maybe on a controller it'll be better.
I'm excited. I'm going to get it on PlayStation 4 because I love Diablo 2. I do feel like Diablo 3 has been dumbed the hell down for everybody else, but it's still going to be fun on the controller.
Oh, yeah. The multiplayer aspect of it alone, the fact that it's got 4 people on one console, you have 4, like the 4 of us chilling right here, after we did this, could turn on my television and my PS4, my PS3, and if we all had a controller, sync it to it and start playing it without a problem, is awesome. Like, that is really, really cool. I miss that in a lot of games.
With Diablo, like Imso was saying, like when I played it once. I was like, I let my buddy play it. He maxed out. He had a max character, max everything, and just the game wasn't good on PC. Me personally, I think it'll be better on console. It's a better. It reminds me of like a Baldur's Gate. Like it would be a better, system dungeon crawler than what it would ever be on computer because the controls are shit on the computer. I'm not going to overclick. I'm actually going to control my character.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I really liked. Torchlight on the Xbox 360 was. It was a dungeon crawler just like that, and it was so good. The only thing that sucked, it didn't have multiplayer. You couldn't play with anybody, and it got a little bit boring. Torchlight 2, I know, has multiplayer, but...
Well, that's kind of my thing. Is PS4 going to have the thing, like, am I going to be able to carry my gamer tag over? Or am I going to have to play on your system and use your characters? Like, how is that going to work? Have they really said?
That I don't think they've really touched ground on. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, that is questionable, because that would suck. But that would make it like Dungeon Siege, which still isn't a horrible dungeon crawler. It's still pretty decent. But aside from that, I don't know. I look forward to it because supposedly all the focus group things that I've read online for it say that it looks better and it plays 10 times better on console.
Well, hopefully.
So... Like I said, I'm hoping it's good. The main reason I'm going to get it is just so I can beat the damn game. I beat Diablo 2. I beat the ever-living piss out of Diablo 2 and Diablo 1 as a child.
Me too, yeah. I played
as a teenager, so I feel it's only due to the fandom that I feel like I have to play the series. On top of the fact, I did like playing as a witch doctor. The class wasn't that horrible. I don't like how the skills are set up, but like I said, I'm still going to get it. Everybody knows going to get it, so it'll be fun to play with everybody on PlayStation.
If you buy it, I'll just come over and play with you.
Like I said, that's one of the best features to it that really, like, I'm not going to lie, it was one of the things that really turned me to the game was when they said 4-person all around. The flip side of this is, though, my last bit I want to say for this one is it is not PlayStation exclusive, though. It will be on the Microsoft systems. So...
I miss my Necromancer.
Here's my thing. You know how Sony has the share button, like, you can't beat a mission, you ask me to do it for you. If you turn on 2-player, turn on your controller, at home, can you let him play that?
I think so.
And you're playing off his game and you don't own it? If it's a multiplayer game?
That would be so cool.
This will all be stuff we'll figure out once the system comes out. Believe me, you'll find all sorts of bugs to it the first 2 months.
That was the thing about, we were talking about with Deadspace 3 the other night, was I keep saying it almost feels like they throw this stuff in here as a gimmick to make you tell your buddy to buy it. So you're like, you get Diablo 3 on your PS4, and you're like, so you got to get Diablo, Diablo so we can play it or whatever. So I go out and drop $60 when, if that feature was it, you just hit share, and suddenly I'm playing it off of your console, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what it is, because somebody was saying, I think the example they gave was God of War. If you're stuck in a certain part of God of War, somebody can basically remote into your PlayStation and do that level for you.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't know if you both have to own the game, which will be the trick.
I said, fuck that. Come in my world, fuck my shit up and be pissed. Like, that's friendship ending shit right there.
Oh, yeah,
like, don't get me wrong. If I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, I really need help, different story. But, like, I don't know. Like, even then, like, fuck that. No, like, that's friendship ending shit. Like, I will get furious.
If I was playing, like, Soul Reaver or Blood Omen, I was stuck on a fucking thing, and he just came over and did it for me, I'm probably going to lose my shit.
Yeah, like,
that's something that's for you to progress in the game yourself. I would never want anyone to do that for me.
That's on Watch Dogs. I will have mine. I will have mine set to private. I will not have mine to open, so people can come in and mess with my world.
Really? I will have mine open. You guys can come mess with me anytime.
Wait,
I know we're not supposed to talk about Watch Dogs.
Yeah. In Watch Dogs, what it is you can open your world. I can jump into your world and, like, hide up on a subway train and fucking turn shit on to fuck with you in the middle of the game.
You'll never know it.
And you'll never know.
That's fucking awesome. Holy shit, I honestly didn't pay Watch Dogs so much attention.
And I think because the guy in Watch Dogs looks like everybody else, you won't even be able to tell who's who. There's so many people in that game that you could blend into the crowd. Your buddy will never know where you are.
That was one I had further on
That
the
sounds
list.
like fun.
So let's jump back. This one, Brad, I know that you're going to go goo goo gaga over. Again, it was just a really nice trailer. We know nothing about it. They finally gave it a name. Final Fantasy 15.
I actually reverse that. Not going goo-goo over it because it's trash. Utter trash. When you say like they made a mockery of the Final Fantasy game, like way to make it Devil May Cry. Way to turn it into Kingdom Hearts.
Hey, which we also have, Kingdom Hearts 3.
With a passion. Horrible series. Thanks for ruining my damn company, Disney. This is a rant that I've had for years. Justin will tell you. Yeah. This is something I said from Kingdom Hearts 1. They ruined Squaresoft. As soon as they partnered up with Disney, their franchises all went into the trash. With the exception of 10. And I'll stand true to that. The trailers I saw, even for gameplay, and as much as I've looked forward to 13 Versus over the last 10 years, which was announced before 13 and turned into 15, is ridiculous. It's absurd. Like, the gameplay, it didn't even show... It showed 3 names, and that's... I guess I can't be too furious, because I'm going to follow it more. I'll probably buy it and be pissed anyways. But it showed 3 names in one of the battle cutscenes. I don't know how much the trailers you guys have watched. Because I'm such a Final Fantasy nerd, I've looked pretty hardcore into it. And it showed health bars, character names, and numerical digits for life. But all of the gameplay is this constant, super fast-paced Devil May Cry, almost quick button-esque.
It looked like it went back to 12.
But no, I agree with Justin. It looked like Crisis Core on the PSP. It looked like a really, really advanced, fast-paced version of Crisis Core. Which, don't get me wrong, Crisis Core on the PSP was the shit. But I don't consider that Final Fantasy. Do not... I mean, it's a role-playing game series. You are making it an action, like a full-blown action adventure. You can't even call it a role-playing game anymore. With 13.2, it pretty much lost aspects of being a role-playing game.
Yeah, and that kind of sucks, because I'm with you there. My favorite Super Nintendo game of all time is Final Fantasy 2, which is actually Final Fantasy 4.
Mine's 6, which is 3.
Which is 3, with Espers and stuff and like that, yeah. I mean, I love those games. And, after 10... I think they kind of went downhill. Is that when they were bought by Sony?
I don't know exactly. Like I said, I'm a firm believer that I know the Kingdom Hearts series did well on it.
Bought by Disney, excuse me.
Like I know that they did well with it, or when they partnered with them. It's just personally, like that was the first game that I played by Squaresoft that I was like, what the fuck is this? And I sat there and like I said, I watched a kid play it that doesn't know how to play video games well. And that aggravated me because it was horrible. It looked atrocious. Then I bought it and played it, and it still felt atrocious. And I was just, no, done.
The next one was Kingdom Hearts 3, which I really like the Kingdom Hearts series. I'm very, very confused on the storyline, and Eric the Red said that he watched something for like an hour explaining the story, and I should probably watch that as well because I'm so lost, because I've only played 1 and 2, and I've never played any of the handhelds, and I've never watched the cartoon or the manga or whatever there is, because I guess there's some more story background to help you dish it out. And I guess 3 is supposed to help flush out the story more. Jacob?
Well, when they first started doing those handhelds thing, they said that, don't worry, you guys won't need to play these to understand the story. I guess they changed their mind. There's a lot of stuff in the handheld games that you need to know.
And Justin, you hate Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. But why do you guys hate
Disney? It could be anything but fucking Disney.
No. But
that's me.
Disney's
anyway,
cool.
Disney's not.
It's not even that. I don't like Disney either, but it's not even Disney. I swear to you, it's not even Disney. It's the fact that it doesn't even look good. I remember playing Final Fantasy games being blown away. I remember the first time I saw Final Fantasy 7 after playing Final Fantasy 3 and being like, holy Jesus, what is this? And then seeing 8 after playing 7 and being like, I didn't think they could step up another level. And then saw 9, I was kind of like, what the hell? But then 10, I mean, it was always a better improving series. And then you got Kingdom Hearts, and they completely abandoned their usual combat system. And that started the downfall right there. They went into that action pace. Everybody's got to be moving. On top of the fact, the trailer for that game, I hope to God was alpha footage. Because if not, it looks horrible.
It is.
Because if that was not alpha rendered footage, that game will be not good.
That little gameplay thing they put in there, they shouldn't have put that in there because it does look terrible.
Yeah, it looked like a PS2 game. The cutscene beforehand looked amazing.
Did you play Kingdom Hearts 2?
No, I played the first one. It was horrible.
Is tremendously better. The combat is better. The weapons are better. All the spells are better.
Let me jump in here. Why the fuck do I want Doofy and Marty Mouse as my goddamn partners?
Marty Mouse?
It's not even Doofy and Marty Mouse. It's why do I have to wait till the second one to get better combat and a good game? Like I said, I'm just not a Kingdom Hearts fan.
Squidbit.
Hey, I love the first Dead Space. We've had this discussion that I like the first Dead Space more than the second one because I like Isaac Clarke as a meatbag. Like, I don't need him to have a face and a name and a fucking voice. He was awesome in a suit, killing shit. That was it. He was Arnie as far as I knew. He was Stallone as far as I knew. Hell, he was Jean-Claude Van Damme as far as I knew. I was fine with that. But no, I mean, on the flip side though, to my argument and Justin's to hating Kingdom Hearts, obviously we can't be 100% right. Our opinions aren't solid because, I mean, it's a top-selling franchise. Originally, people that thought it was a PS exclusive were gonna go and buy Sony. Like that right there when they announced it, everybody that I knew, 6 to 10 people on Facebook that posted within 5 minutes. Guess I'm buying a PS4 now. Next day, now it's on Xbox. So
yeah, we'll see. So let's move on to Mad Max. The trailer looked amazing. PS4 exclusive. What type of game is it, though?
No, it's not.
It's not? They dropped that?
No, it's not that. There's a lot of mix-up on exclusives.
They have
Witcher 3, not exclusive to Microsoft now. It is a Sony game. I heard that today and literally head exploded. But going back to Mad Max, I saw the Xbox Live trailer 2 days ago.
It's what it is. The only thing that's exclusive about Mad Max is the content. You get an exclusive Survivor pack. That's what it is. That's what I saw from the conference. You get an exclusive DLC in the beginning.
It's just like Destiny, though.
Yeah.
Destiny, it's not exclusive to Sony like they made it seem like. Because I've had a bunch of people come and ask me, but you get exclusive content for Destiny for me and PS4.
I put that down. The Destiny is any of this exclusive, and I had Destiny, and they went through the different type of things you could be: the warrior guy, hunter, titan, ghost. That game looked amazing too. Yeah. Co-op, single player. I thought it was funny though. I did put down that if it was running on a PS4, the game was freezing really bad during Destiny. It was. I don't know. That was funny. Do you remember that? It was choppy and freezing.
Yeah.
It kept freezing on them during the gameplay during the press conference.
It was the same with Assassin's Creed though too.
Yeah.
I was curious if that was a PS4 rendered one or not.
A lot of games are played on PS4 that they showed, which the Assassin's Creed Black Flag was ran on PS4.
And I remember seeing an article online that they showed afterwards. Some guy was breaking down one of the kiosks to play stuff at E3, and underneath because they have the TV like Best Buy or anything. They have the little joysticks hooked up, and the TV and everything's behind plastic glass and cases and stuff. And the computer is underneath there, locked up. And it actually was a computer for many of the PS4, Xbox One things. They were computers underneath there, not the consoles themselves. Because when the guy snapped a picture because he opened up because he was dismantling it, and it showed that it was a high-end PC under there running one of the games. It was not a PS4 or an Xbox One. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, and somebody will probably call me out on it, but I'm pretty sure it was a Battlefield 4. It was playing on a PC, not one of the things.
Well, that would make sense. EA always does better for Battlefield on PC.
Yeah. So.
I'm a firm believer that all their E3 stuff for Battlefield 3 was all PC. Like, that was not Xbox and PlayStation.
For 3?
Yeah, that stuff was groundbreaking looking. And don't get me wrong, Battlefield 3 still looked amazing, but just not what they showed at E3.
Here's the little thing for Battlefield 4. Do you think you'd be on top of a building, launch a grenade into one, blow a hole in it, jump into that building, and be inside that building?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fucking
You can do it in Battlefield 3. You can do that.
They can't hear you there.
Yeah, you can do that in Battlefield 3 now, Justin. Technically, as long as you can make the jump and not die, you could do it because you don't. You have a parachute. So as long as you could catch the angle right, you could do it in Battlefield 3.
You could get one of
Dude, have you
suits?
go home and just YouTube search Battlefield 3 crazy videos? There's one of this dude, the helicopter falling off the cliff, falling from the cliff, tumbling. Dude goes, I got it. Base jumps off, jumps into this thing, and literally flies it out. But no, and he jumps from the hill, and when he jumps off the cliff to get into it, he literally base dives, jumps in the helicopter, and flies it back up to his team, lands it, and he's like, all right. And then they go do their this multiplayer, while multiplayer's going on. There's another video of a dude jumping out of a jet, rocketing another jet,
I've seen
and
that
then
one.
getting back into his jet. That's when I was like, that game. People
a lot of that
too
stuff
good.
though is PC. Like people do that on PC.
And it's all choreographed. They
Oh, I believe that.
very specific. That doesn't happen randomly in gameplay. That was done very much on purpose.
You think you feel?
I will say, dude, I pulled off and had some crazy shit pulled off on me while playing multiplayer. Like, one of the kills I hate to admit, but one of my favorite ones that ever got on me in Call of Duty, dude beginning of the map threw a hatchet. Throws. He didn't just throw it and hit me. That's not that funny. He throws it, it hits a wall, then hits me. Like, Plinko's my ass with the hatchet. And I sat there and wasn't even mad. I was like, because I watched the kill cam, I watched him smack. It was fucking amazing.
So as the press conference went on, they had some pretty big reveals. They were slapping Microsoft in the face, talking about supporting used games, new online connection. They had the funny little thing that we talked about before, how they share games, the share video, step one, and he hands them the game, which is really great. But this is a couple weeks later now, and due to peer pressure and Microsoft realizing they made huge mistakes, it's all undone now. Microsoft is not requiring online connections, will not check your game every 24 hours. You can buy and use used games. You can lend your friends the actual disc and they can play whatsoever. Jacob?
Maybe, because both companies have now said that the publishers reserve the right for used games and lending games and all that stuff.
Go ahead, Brad, and then I'll
The
finish
flip
up.
side to that argument, though, is that it's like that now. It's no different. Like,
That's true, yeah.
They still hold it now. And after, if the publishers are intelligent, you look at EA. EA is one of the biggest publishers, one of the top 10 worst companies in the world or whatever, supposedly.
Number one.
But they're one of the top publishers, too. And that's my thing. And even they realized that it was a bad idea. Like, they've even announced, like, we're not doing that anymore. So, I mean...
And that's the thing I've always wondered is they say, well, the publishers have the final say. Have they always had the final say?
Yeah, they've always had it. It was always up to the publishers because as people like Microsoft and Sony, they can't be like, no, you can't do that. Like, okay, then you don't get our game. Like, they truly hold the power over anyone else.
So the thing of it is that you say, okay, it's all up to the publishers, and that is true. And they just told you that, yes, it's always been that way. The thing is, the largest publisher of video games in the world has done away with their online passes, because that was their way of trying to combat used games, was EA's online pass, and they've done away with it, so everybody else is going to follow suit, and that means that the next generation is safe from strict DRM regulations.
Yeah, because I don't think any other publishers could afford for people not to buy their games, and they need everyone possible to buy their games, and if they do the DRM thing and people don't buy it, they could go out of business. EA could do it, and they did it, but it pretty much failed.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously hurt them if they stopped it, but that's my thing. As far as I even know, I mean, I think EA is the only company that does it. It's only EA published games that have the online pass right now.
As far as I know, yeah.
I mean, Deadspace, made by Visceral Games, published by EA online pass. All sports titles, obviously. THQ was doing it too, but that's because they were doing some online type stuff. Like, I know UFC had an online pass, probably because of Dana White, selfish bastard.
No, let's do our podcast, thanks.
I hope he does. If he does, I love Dana White.
So after that, they went in and talked about some of the stuff, blah, blah, blah. Sony is basically creating this, conglomerate of machines where the PS3, the PS4, the Vita, all of them can work in tandem together, which is really great. The PlayStation Plus is going to transfer over. They're going to continue giving you games. Now, in the beginning, obviously, I don't think that they're going to give you, for quite some time, PS4 games for free, but maybe they give you discounts. You shaking your head no?
Don't get me wrong. It's a 50-50, because it's still like you're saying, they're not. I don't consider it the whole game, or I don't consider it a free PS4 game because they're only giving you like 3/4 of it, like they did with Gran Turismo 5. Drive Time or Drive Club,
yes,
you get for free for PlayStation Plus members on launch. But it's like the Forza 4 Essentials or Gran Turismo Prologue. It's only like 3/4 of the game. Or from my understanding, it's the whole like campaign of the game. You just don't get access to every car it has, which isn't horrible. The main thing I like, though, that they announced was everything is transferring. Everything you've bought on PlayStation Network transfers, which I love because I've only had a PS3 for a year and a half, but I've spent easily $200 on their network between every Final Fantasy game, Legend of Dragoon, pretty much everything old school Squaresoft I've bought. I had to.
But are you going to get that stuff on PlayStation 4, or do you still have to wait for Gaikai to come out?
As far as I know, it's supposed to just be able to re-download it all, because I think that's still going to be technically part of just the PlayStation Network. Is from the way they made it sound with Gaikai, is it's only for PS3 games.
And 2, I think.
Well, see, that would be awesome if they
Are there
do
PS2 games on
Yeah,
them?
you can download PS2 games.
And
There's
PS1
not-
games.
Yes.
There's not that
Yeah, I know.
many for PS2. The PS1 market was really big,
Yeah.
but the PS2 was starting to come out. I know probably about like 6 months ago they had like 5 games,
No,
and now it's gotten way bigger.
Oh,
Well, the PS1 library was so large because of the PSP Go.
Yeah. I've never played, or I never got to play because I got rid of my PS2 back then, any of the Shin Megami Tensei series, Persona games. Anytime I've ever looked at them to purchase, they're like $40 for the physical copy, which is a lot of money for a PS2 game for a system I don't have, and it's a lot of investment to play a game that I'm not even 100% if I'm going to like. Best thing is PlayStation Network. They've added Persona 3, one of the most popular ones.
$20.
$9.
$9.99.
$9.99. I got the game for $10 instead of $40, and I absolutely love Persona now. I'm a huge Persona fan. It's a really good series.
There's a Persona fighting game, isn't there?
Persona 4 Arena. I had
Those
it.
games look neat.
It was really good.
Did
It
you
was
get
like
rid of
BlazBlue. I don't think I have it anymore. I can't remember if I traded it.
BlazBlue. I love BlazBlue.
BlazBlue is amazing. But that's my thing though, is the PS2 marketplace has gotten pretty extensive on the PlayStation 3 already. I mean, that and the price, and that's my thing, is like, I don't mind, like, even if they were like, alright, you buy a PS4 and say you want to play old PS3 games on the PS4, if they do it like they did with the PS3 to the PS2, like the physical copy, like I said, Persona, $40 used, you know, and then you make it new anymore. I got it for $10 for a digital copy.
Yeah, eventually they're going to, if they're smart,
if
they
sell
will.
PS3 games cheap.
You know, God of War 3, they'll do a special and you'll be able to get it for $9.99 on the PS4 because somebody never played it before, never bought it. You know, they're on there, they get their extra money. Why not spend $10 to play God of War 3?
It's a steal. I mean, if you can buy PS3 games for $10 a download, that'd be amazing.
Nail in the coffin. Done with PS4 press conference,
I'm done.
games and everything.
Yeah.
Alright,
As far as I can think, yeah, it was everything.
So we have one piece left, and I want to make sure that we mention this so we don't get hate mail.
Goofy that much.
I don't want us to get, if we get any
Manga
mail whatsoever.
reference.
Well, if we ever get mail or messages on our Facebook, I don't want us to get angry Nintendo fan mail. So let's talk about
How amazing Nintendo's press conference was.
how
And
lackluster
it's
it
over.
was.
Yeah, that hold on. You
Okay.
say amazing. I didn't watch it, so
I
hold
couldn't
on.
get to it. It was broken.
Yeah, you guys are handy capable. You should have read it because it's worth reading. They announced nothing but glory.
Okay, wait a minute.
Nintendo has
I'm supposed to
nothing but first-party glory.
read their press conference? I want to watch it. I'm American. I don't read.
Hey, be smart. That's all I got to say. I was at work, so I had to read it. I ain't got a television to watch it. And
Let me interject there. Smash Brothers to you is a glorious game.
Don't get me wrong. To me, no. To you, no.
Yeah.
To you, like Smash.
Yeah.
You like playing. To majority of the people, we know. Hell yeah. They announced Mega Man for it, so it's nice we're gonna get to see the Blue Bomber come back for something because Capcom ain't gonna bring his ass back. And like I said, I'm not a big Smash fan, you know that, but still, it's good to hear. On top of the fact, I think Namco and Bandai's helping co-produce it this time or something like. So pretty much they're pretty much letting the people from Tekken get their hands on it, which I'm kind of a fan of.
So let me throw down the games real quick. This is the reason possibly why somebody would want to buy a Wii U. Let me speed through these real quick and we go back and talk about them. You have Mario Land 3D, Mario Kart 8, Beautiful Joe, Donkey Kong Country, Wind Waker, Pikmin, Sonic, Smash Bros. A lot of these games are still slated for 2014.
Oh yeah, well don't get me wrong. A lot of them aren't coming out into this year, and the thing is, Nintendo doesn't have to because their system's already out. It's not launching. It's been out. The games you want to play, like new Luigi Bros, that's coming out, or new Super Luigi, that's coming out by the end of this year. That's a title that a lot of people are looking forward to. It looks amazing. The fact that Mario's not in it makes me so damn happy. Like, oh my god. But the thing that makes me mad, IMSA, is you did not say Bayonetta 2, which looks fucking phenomenal.
That was number 7. I forgot. I had a question mark. I apologize.
Wonderful 101 or whatever, or Wonder 101. I don't remember the 101 Wonder. It's another game being made by Platinum Studios, the guys that do Bayonetta and Anarchy Reigns and a whole bunch of amazing beat 'em up titles. They're doing a game where you can play with your friends, you make your own superheroes, and you pretty much save the fucking world nonstop. It looks amazing. A Link Between Two Worlds was announced for the 3DS. Glory.
3DS though.
The 3DS, but still, it's Nintendo. It's Nintendo's press conference. You can't be picky. Nintendo dominates handhelds. What do you expect them to do? They laid down the slate. They dropped the wood. Hey, we're doing A Link Between Two Worlds, and we're remaking Wind Waker in high def for the Wii U. So, and that's my thing, is it's not like they forgot about the Wii U with Zelda. They're like, here you go.
So we got Luigi coming out this year. So we should wait till next year to buy a Wii U because 2014 is when everything's coming out.
No, you can play Monster Hunter now, which is an amazing title for the Wii U. The Wii U has games. On top of the fact, you're neglecting the idea that all these games that were third-party developers, don't look over there because I don't have it. It's because it's expensive. That's why it's not there.
I have one I can sell you real cheap.
Believe me,
Yeah,
ask
right.
Justin. The only reason the Wii U's not there is because I just can't afford it right now. If I could, I would have one. I love this system. I truly believe Nintendo made an amazing system this
I'll
time.
take some of your trade-ins if you want to get it at my store.
No, I'm not getting rid of any of that until my PS4 comes out.
All right, Justin.
Wind Waker?
I own a Wii U, so I'm not really worried about it. But Wind Waker looks fantastic. Watch some stuff on it, by the way. You can on the pad, you can write a note to someone, throw it in the ocean, and it'll wash up on their beach.
That is awesome.
And you can write notes to each other. I watched it.
Justin will write love letters.
No, and just in the
Is
remake.
it a remake? Okay, so why not number 2 though?
Because number 2 was it Phantom Hourglass?
Oh, was it? Okay. I sometimes I wonder, like, why remake this? Why not just give us a sequel?
Oh no.
Well, there's that. Well, if you look at the Zelda timeline, it's
I don't know
pretty
anything
extensive.
about it.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
But the
But
flip side, though, to even all that, though, is they still have Call of Duty coming out. Granted, they're not doing Battlefield, which you say, yeah, but like, hey, Call of Duty, there's a lot of shooter fans. The fact that they do have a controller that fits more for shooters, so you don't have to use a dumb tablet's awesome. But I mean, it's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying run out and buy a Wii U or that they came in and like bitch slapped everybody at the conference because Sony did that. But Nintendo originally said we're not going to be at E3, and then they just snuck up and were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to drop all this fucking amazing." It's not like they announced some titles that nobody gave a fuck about. They literally told us about games that we all been wanting to hear about: Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros., new Zeldas.
2 things. They've also announced Earthbound for the Wii U. And is the Wii U going to have Call of Duty or a Call of Duty Nintendo port?
No, it's Call of Duty. Black
So,
Ops 2
okay.
was Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
You know what I'm saying, though?
Yes.
Like,
No, I know what you
the
mean.
Wii's always had the stupid...
No, the Wii U, even Assassin's Creed Revelations, Batman, Arkham Asylum, or the Arkham City was made special for the Wii U because it has, like, you can use more of Batman's gizmos and gadgets with the tablet controller. But that and Call of Duty were spec on the same titles that you got for Xbox and PlayStation.
So let me be the jerk here.
oh no, I can be the jerk. Here,
Let's tag team it then.
okay. Well, here's my thing. When you say they dropped all this glory, don't get me wrong. I see the point where all these Zeldas, but that's shit we knew was coming out. We knew they're going to make a Zelda. We knew they were going to do a Smash Bros. We knew these things were going to happen. So what did they tell me that I didn't already know?
See, that's my thing. Let me help out here. I got his back. Okay, I played Mario Land 3D on the 3DS because I own a 3DS and it was a lot of fun. So now it's another Mario game doing the same stuff again. And Mario Kart 8. It's another Mario Kart game with a few little... Now, let me finish. It's the same thing as like Mario Kart 7. They just threw a few little underwater and now you're going to have flying or vertical courses and stuff. I don't care about Donkey Kong Country. Wind Waker was one of my least favorite Zeldas. I
won't punch you in the throat.
I know. I hate Majora's Mask too. Leave me alone.
Hey.
I don't care about Pikmin. I don't care about Sonic games. I'm not a fighter. I don't do fighting games. I like watching people play fighters. That's a spectator sport to me. I like watch Justin, playing Injustice. I like him playing Injustice. I like watch people play Street Fighter 4, but I don't enjoy playing them. Yes, a lot of these games have those Kingdom Heart cult followings. Except for maybe Smash Bros. That has a huge following. And maybe Zelda has a huge following. Maybe all of these games have huge followings. But for me, it's like we've talked about before, it's the same stuff, rehashed again. I don't want something that I played when I was 12 years old. I don't need another Zelda game. I want a grown-up Zelda game. Just like I was happy, when they come out with something new and creative for a grown-up or a 33-year-old man. I'm not a kid anymore.
You're still a kid, Imsa. But, no, don't get me wrong. I know what you mean. I mean, granted, yes, Mario. It's Mario. But think about it. They've gone every direction you can go with Mario. Nintendo has done it. It's not like they've stuck to, hey, let's just do 2D side-scrolling Mario. They've gone, we're going to make Mario 64, which was the first one. Like, hey, we're going to fucking touch ground on 3D shit, which I hate it. I hate it. In my opinion, ruined Mario. But there are people that'll sit there and look at me and be like, you're handicapped. I love side-scrolling Marios. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for them. I don't give a shit what it is, how old I am. It's something that's engraved from when I was 5. It was one of the first things I ever played.
But you want more of that?
Yeah, dude. Justin, when he had the original Wii, we sat at his house when New Super Mario Brothers came out on the Wii. When I lived with him, him, and Rebecca, and my ex-girlfriend sat there for like 2 months just playing Super Mario. Like, we didn't play anything on the 360, none of that. We sat there playing fucking Mario for 2 months.
I agree with both of you because I want Mario games, but I also want new IPs from Nintendo because they do new IPs really well. Beautiful Joe is awesome. We need more titles like that, more just awesome creative stuff, and the Wii U has so much potential to make cool, original, creative games, and they just don't care.
Well, I don't even think it's they don't care. I feel like they honestly feel like they didn't need to go that big this year because they were getting overshadowed. It didn't matter what Nintendo announced this year. You had Sony and Microsoft announcing systems. It didn't matter what they did.
That's true.
They weren't gonna get the big stage. What they did, in my opinion, was smart. I expected nothing from Nintendo. I did not expect to hear from them. When I went to work that day and popped IGN on my phone and it was like, Nintendo announces A Link Between Two Worlds, and I'm like, what? And I clicked on it and actually watched like the trailer and all that for it. The whole day I was sitting there on my phone reading everything on Nintendo's press conference, just because I was like, you know what? They're the old guys. I mean, they're us. They've been there since day one. They're not going anywhere. They have IPs that they know are going to last the sands of time. They have. And new Mario Kart 8. Come on, don't get me wrong. Like Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS was shit. Like I didn't care about a handheld Mario Kart. I look forward to Mario Kart on the Wii U because it's in high def. Mod Nation Racers, I felt like it was such a shitty attempt at making a Mario Kart game.
Yeah, Mario on the 64 or Mario on the Super Nintendo, I have such fond memories of being a child. Not a child, I mean a young teenager, 10, 11, 12, 13, and going over to my buddy's house with literally pitchers of Mountain Dew and drinking Mountain Dew all night long, playing till 3 or 4 in the morning, and just popping those silly little balloons over and over all night long on those courses.
Shoving each other.
Yeah, shoving each other off, just screaming at each other, and I have such wonderful memories of that. And maybe this is for that 12-year-old that's sitting out there right now to create his memories for it. So one day he'll pass on and play video games with his kids and stuff. And I understand that, but as an adult, if you want me to buy the Wii U, I need something to get. And I don't feel like there's anything on there. I don't need to rehash Zelda. I don't need to rehash Mario. I don't need rehash games. I want new IPs. And Nintendo makes some of the best games. They have always perfect controls. They have always solid graphics, or always cutting edge at least. Maybe you can make an argument not for the Wii, but
even most of the stuff that Nintendo made for the Wii looked amazing. Donkey Kong Country Returns looked awesome. Mario
Galaxy.
Really
Those games look phenomenal.
Yeah.
They were all really, I agree with you. Twilight Princess is hands down one of my favorite Zeldas ever.
Jake?
I just had a thought that really Mario Kart 8. I played Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo and the 64. We're already up to 8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
I missed 6, 7 games.
Yeah, most of them are handhelds.
Yeah, that's what it was. They went handheld a lot. Because in my opinion, there's 4. This would be 4 because there's Super Nintendo, 64, Wii U. That
right.
Yes.
That's what.
But because I
well, they had like
handhelds.
Double Dash and all that shit for GameCube.
No.
Oh yeah, GameCube did have 2 of them, didn't it?
GameCube had Double Dash. They had Double Dash and they had another one, didn't it?
Yeah. 7 is on the 3DS?
Yeah, 7's on the 3DS.
Yeah,
I completely forgot about
6
the
is on the
one,
DS.
So yeah, this would be technically 5.
That's crazy. That's kind of like when, and I know this is nowhere near the same, but Madden 25. We've got that many already? Holy crap.
I think it's because the 25th
anniversary.
Yeah, 25th
Oh,
anniversary.
But
okay.
technically, yes, we've passed that many.
Madden
That's
came out in
crazy.
93. Madden 93, I think, was the very first one. So from 93 to now.
How do you know that?
I Googled it one day. I was talking to a guy at work about it.
About made our hour mark. I think we finished up our E3 stuff. You want anything else?
I want to finish how Main Bayonetta 2 looked. You seen anything? Because I know you said you were a Bayonetta fan.
Yes, I
The
did
only
finally see
reason-
some stuff. I
Yeah,
did.
It's the only reason I bring it up is because I know that you're a
Touch
Bayonetta
Destiny.
fan with me. The fact that you could summon the big crazy demon dog thing, like, in the midst of combat. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you got to do it only on bosses to eat the big guys. Like, it showed her summon the big owl, and it just came down and smashed a bunch of enemies. And I was like, I like that. And Nintendo is not telling Platinum Games to hold back. They gave them full
They
creative
shouldn't.
range. Nintendo's history is...
Of course, I know that, yeah.
It's a little too racy. They're like, no.
Yeah, I mean, they literally on the old games put the Nintendo quality approval seal on their games before they would let something be released. I mean, that's why you see all those hacked homebrews, and the funny color cartridges on Nintendo and stuff. Yeah, yeah. If you look on any Nintendo game that that's an actual licensed game, it has the little Nintendo seal on it in the bottom right corner, I think. Yeah,
But just like Mad World, the Sega exec said that he always felt like that game should have been like they made the wrong call because they think they would have done it. It sold better probably on the Xbox and PlayStation.
It did feel like they held back a little bit.
Well, my only sign is look at Anarchy Reigns. It had Max or Jack or whatever the guy's name was from Mad World, and everybody loved it because of that. I know people that bought Anarchy Reigns just because of that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to Destiny, Justin?
My only thing was, I just think it's the new Tribes. That's what that reminded me of. It's like the new Tribes game.
But Destiny?
Yeah.
I
Is
thought
it
you were saying
only-
that about Titan.
Yes and no. This one I feel kind of more because of the classes and like they had like weird jetpack type things.
The armor too.
Yeah, the armor.
You think maybe the developers of Tribes are going, "Hey, we already did this. Come play our
I
game."
heard what was it? Not this year's MegaCon, but the MegaCon before that. I went to a booth and the guy was talking. He had tribe stuff everywhere, and I was like, "Are they making new tribes?" He's like, "You should see one within the next 2 to 3 years."
Well, Tribes Ascend is a free-to-play one, and it's fun.
And a lot of them feel like tribes to me. Like you're gonna have the jetpacks, you're gonna have the crazy terrain to do all that good stuff.
Tribes Ascend is a lot like these games because Tribes Ascend has a whole bunch of different classes, heavy classes, sniper classes, scout classes, all that stuff. You use your jetpack to get up in the air, and then if there's downhill, you can ski down. There's all kinds of, and the worlds are huge, and so it's kind of like, this is already out, guys. You can play this. You can go play Tribes instead of waiting for Titanfall.
Well, not only that, I mean, the first game that I ever played that copied Tribes, because I used to love Tribes on PS2, was Section 8. I mean, Section 8 already did all this.
Yeah.
Section 8's a shooter that a lot of people don't know about unless you were a hardcore Tribes fan. You play Section 8 on console, probably.
Oh, I know.
You would
could jump jet in. Like, everybody came launched in from orbit, pretty much like Halo orbital drop shots. And you came in, you came down to the battlefield and battled it out. I mean, it was a fun
Section
game.
8 Prejudice? Is that an arcade game?
Yes, arcade game. But originally it was
good?
just Section 8. And they're not bad. If you like Tribes, you'll like it.
I do like Tribes.
You'll like it.
So, question here: with Destiny, it looked beautiful. Liked all the different classes and everything. I've never played Tribes. Is this a co-op only shooter? Well, I don't get it.
Single player or co-op?
Kind of like a Borderlands-esque. It's going to be kind of the same way. You got 4 people running around doing missions.
They made it sound like almost MMO-y though, man. Like everything I keep hearing about this game sounds very MMO-ish. Like they're talking like people can jump in, jump out of the game world with you, and this and that. And I'm like, so are you pretty much making an MMO? Because they say it's an always evolving story and all that stuff. So it's one of those. I still feel lost with Destiny. I really, even on the retailer end, like I hate it when people ask me about the game because even all the stuff I've read, I still just draw more questions to them.
Who's making this game, real quick, and then you can go?
Bungie.
It's Bungie's game. Okay,
Bungie and Activision.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
And that's like 3 letters that developers are terrified of now is MMO. They keep calling all the MMOs, like, they just keep making up different genres for them. Like Destiny, there's another one was at E3.
They're calling them open world role-playing games. Online games, yeah.
The Division.
The Division, they call it an open world online game instead of an MMO.
Another one I forgot to mention was Elder Scrolls, which I think they're going to. I mean, personally, I think they're going to ruin by going online.
No.
The way the game looks and the way they've shown gameplay of how it plays and works, like I'm glad it's coming to console because I think it's not going to play right for PC people, which might kill some people for PC, but I don't care because I don't play PC. It looks like it's controller based, like it's not dice roll for evasion. Like it's not like WoW where it's like, oh, I have a really high evasion rate so I don't get hit. It's you step the fuck out the way, I miss my sword attack. I love that. Like I love that action throw to it.
So is it always PvP?
I think no, it's not always PvP. I'm sure it's going to be PvE stuff in it.
There's 3
There's 3
continents. 2 continents are PvE, and then there's going to be the one continent, which I believe is the Skyrim continent, that's going to be PvP, and you just kind of, like you would in the other game, go into a PvP queue and.
So if you're walking around Morrowind, that's the PvE, and some douche comes up and starts trying to hit you. It's not going to hurt you.
There's going to be a PvP server there.
Yeah, I'm sure the thing is though we're all like jumping in on this.
I'm sure it's going to be kind of like, well, you're going to have PvE servers or PvP servers. They're not going to limit you to a continent. It's either going to be you want a PvP or you don't.
Yeah,
Someone's going to gank you, or you're not going to play that type of area.
You can either be flag or not flag. It's just like WoW or Guild Wars, any of those. I mean, that's something that's already been addressed and taken care of with MMOs.
Well, the one continent is PvP, only strictly PvP. There's going to be deathmatch in this part of the continent, capture the flag in this part of the continent. It's going to be a PvP queue, but the thing is, they're using what's called a mega server. Basically, if I start playing, I'm going to be stuck in whatever server they want to, but if Justin logs in, it's going to put Justin in my server. And that's just how it's going to blend. It's all going to be a whole bunch of servers, but one server.
So again, this is why I say I think it's going to destroy it for me. I like going and doing everything I can. I want to explore all the games. So you're telling me that if I don't enjoy having some a-hole gank me, that I can't go to Skyrim and play and have fun and see this world and experience this part of your game if I don't want to do PvP. That's
Well,
wrong.
you can.
No.
You just said it's only PvP.
Well, no, the thing is, it's like I'm saying, it's going to be like, wow, it's going to have, you can flag for PvP. That's how MMOs are. That's how they are. If you join a PvP server, then you know that at any point when you're running around, you can get fucked up. That's how PvP runs. We know this. You don't join a PvP server if you don't want it.
Yeah.
And believe me, they'll either do that same option, or they'll do like WoW is, or some other games are, where it's like, I can either flag my PvP or turn it off.
Well, in WoW, if you go to Northrend and you go to Wintergrasp, that place is a constant battleground. You
Yeah.
go to Wintergrasp, you're flagged. I don't give a fuck what you do. It kind of depends, because you can flag yourself or you're not. Like, I can fly over Wintergrasp, and it's not not a big deal. If I'm on the ground, I still gonna have to flag myself. But that place is ever going. Like, you can always go there and do a battleground. Always, it's
Right.
always PvP there.
Star Wars
but
has the
it's
same
again.
thing.
You have to flag yourself. Like, if so, what you're saying is, if you want to go to Skyrim, you can walk around there. These two assholes might be flagged, but they couldn't do anything to you unless you flag yourself. They're not going to give you the option to, well, fuck, I can't step foot over here, and it's going to be PvP. They're not going to limit you that way. It's going to be about flagging, or it's going to be about PvP and PvE servers. It's going to be one or the other. Like, even with the DC universe, you joined a PvE server or a PvP
server.
It was one or the other.
Well, that's good. Well,
And even DC Universe, if you do a PvP server, nobody really fucked with you that bad. Well, I don't know, I say that, but I never got really high level in it, which was like 30.
I got annihilated by a Green Lantern when I was evil. Like, that's what made me want to be a Green Lantern. Like, I was walking or flying around, he flew behind me and beat the absolute shit out of me. It was ridiculous. And I was like, I want to be a Green Lantern.
finish, Jake.
PvP in Star Wars was insane. You couldn't play on a PvP server. You had to get to like the max cap the day it came out, because I was playing with Dave and Buddy, and I had to leave their server. I could never level up. I would spend like 4 hours on one mission because people would constantly gank you.
Yeah, see, that's why
Nice
I
to
will
do
never
that
do that.
well.
So, all right, so we want to take a break and come back to Act 2. Our half an hour of miscellaneous crap today will be us just talking about our games, and we'll end with 2 random games of the week. Jacob has one, and Mr. Brad has one as well. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll be back.
You Joe Pesci looking motherfucker.
And we're back. Actually, I got that recorded. That's
Yeah,
funny.
that's it.
All right, so Brad,
Fuck you.
Brad's going to start our
Am I a
miscellaneous...
clown? Am I here to make you fucking laugh? Sorry, I had to when he said that. Goodfellas, man.
Ray Liotta was awful in it, I'm sorry. Joe Pesci was good. Ray Liotta with his... Fuck him.
That's
No, I
funny.
just mean you're a funny guy.
So this half an hour of miscellaneous crap will be actually our game segment this time. Brad's going to start us off, then Jacob, and then Justin and I are going to talk about Deadspace 3, and then Justin and Brad will talk about The Last of Us, the masterpiece that is the greatest game of all time. So Brad, tell us about Remember Me.
Not a masterpiece or the greatest game of all time. Starts out a rather entertaining title, but
Let me ask you a question. Do you really think Capcom fucked up for a game?
yeah. Only reason I say that is because I stand true to my original statement. Like, when I first played the game, the first hour and a half, 2 hours, like I said, the first podcast I did with you guys when I talked about it, I hadn't played a lot of it, so I couldn't give a full gist. I liked where the story was going. I liked what it seemed like it was doing. The combat, though, what appeared at first to be what was going to be like a kind of lush like combo system, just turned into just this, here's 4 combinations. If you don't do these combinations right, none of her stats will apply or stack properly. There's negatives if you don't do the combos properly. Like, if you don't time the punches properly, like wait until the end of a punch to do the second punch, you get negatives, like you don't do your full bonus. Just the combat was riddled with horribleness. They would just overfill you with enemies, and they would give you this option where you couldn't use 3/4 of your abilities on half the enemies. Like, every enemy that you fought, you'd have to fight 6 of them at once. Or literally, you'd fight like 6 of each one types at a time, and you'd have to literally use every one of your ability types, but you never have enough of it. It was a very aggravating title. The combos were just, I don't know. They dropped the ball. I expected what looked like originally a fast-paced action adventure beat 'em ups button mashing game like Devil May Cry, Azur's Wrath, the stuff I'm used to from Capcom when I buy these IPs from them, and just Remember Me just dropped the ball. On top of the fact the story wasn't even that good. Nyland's kind of a bitch. Main reason I say that is because she leaves this dude fucking, I think his name was like Bad Idea or something like that. She fucking leaves him to get blown up and die after he pretty much fucking sacrifices himself for her. Like, he's not like dead, he's just laying there unconscious. She could have saved him. So at that point I was like, fuck her.
So you don't sympathize with her, so it's
No,
hard to be her.
That's the other thing. Is like I really didn't like her as a character once I started getting into it. The guy that always talks to her, Edge. That's like I guess if they were in the Matrix, you would call the operator, because that's all he seems like he is. He's just this voice over your intercom who just kind of doles you around and tells you like how people that have good, like, oh, these people live in a nicer part of France than you do, but it's it's their fault. And I don't know. It just did not like the title. I feel like they really dropped the ball with it.
Are you not supposed to like her, maybe?
No, you're supposed to like her. You're supposed to sympathize with her. I can tell that you are. Like, believe me, I grasped where they were going with it. Like, I mean, I don't want to spoil any of the game, really, to people. But with the exception of just ruining the fact that Bad dies. But I really couldn't get into it. I tried. You can ask, I mean, Justin can verify, like, I told him, like, 5 days in a row, like, I keep trying to play it. I keep trying to play it. And I got 79% into it.
You didn't beat it?
No, I quit. I'm done.
And you traded it back in?
I wanted Last of Us. It looked better.
What did you get for value for your game?
Because I was smart and got rid of it before it drops in price, I got $30.
$30?
But that is because I traded it towards Last of Us.
Okay.
They had a promotion running at the time where you got more if you went towards Last of Us.
So should we forget about playing Remember Me?
Yes, don't play Remember Me. I've told everyone that came in my store for the last week, like, you don't want that. I'm sorry. And they just laughed at me. And they were like, why do you say that? And I was like, I bought it. And then they laugh at me some more. So that's how it goes, though. I'm not mad. I'm not going to sit here and rant about how I got robbed of $60 or anything, because I don't feel that way. I really don't.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, I mean, that's video games. That's how IPs are. I risked it playing something new.
You think Remember Me 2 could be really good?
No, I don't see them doing a second one. I don't. The IP didn't sell very well.
They advertise it like crazy?
They did advertise it like crazy. Don't get me wrong.
I didn't see anything for it. I remember you talking about, hey, there's a game Memory coming out, and I'm like, okay, and I never saw anything about it. I had to look up stuff.
I sold 6 copies. I can pretty much tell you that they're all back in my store.
They should never play this, or if it was $10.
Don't get me wrong. If you can get it for cheap, scoop it up. You got a friend of yours that wants to get rid of it for cheap, and scoop it up. But I would almost even say to just avoid it, even in the same sense.
Wow, Brad coming back around and knocking Remember Me off of its pedestal.
I really had some faith in it with those first 2 hours. Teaser.
Yeah, you were all gung ho. I remember how excited you were about it and stuff. You're like, I want to go and play it. And
believe me, man, I felt bad because, like I said, I got home and I started playing it, and like I said, the next hour or so it was still good. Like I was like, all right, and then just the combat system was just so not what I expected Capcom to do. Like I expect a lot from those guys. Like,
yeah, well, that's disappointing. So, Jacob, take us way back in time. Dead Space 2.
Yeah, me and Justin were talking about Dead Space, and I said I hated number 1. He agreed to only pick up Dead Space 2, and he was right.
You're both idiots, but that's fine.
Dead Space 2 was fun. I think the 2 moments that, there's 3 moments that stand out in my mind was the scene that I think was in the demo when the lady's calling the baby over, and you're just kind of watching, and she gets the baby necromorph and explode. You know that?
I honestly don't remember that part. I beat the whole game, too. Don't remember that part.
I do, because I recently just beat it because you gave me Dead Space 3, and so I was halfway through Dead Space 2, and I was like, I gotta finish it, so I went back and I had to start all the way over. And
Did Dead Space 2 scare you guys? Did it make you jump at all?
I haven't jumped at Dead Space since kind of the first one. The whole jump scare factor was kind of gone for me.
I haven't done the jump scare factor since Freddy Krueger.
I think I almost let myself get scared by games because I want to be scared because it is a horror game. Because in the school, there's one part where you're walking behind the stage and this little friendly sun thing pops out. It's a cute little sun.
I remember that part.
Scares the piss out of you. Yeah.
The other part
I
was
not scared. First one was scary as shit. First one freaked me out. But
I don't think it's so scary. It's eerie.
It's jump out factor. It's the sun thing. I'm walking behind the stage. There's a next. Jeez, what? Oh, fucking stupid sun thing.
In the movie today, when I was watching, there was a preview for a movie called You're Next, and it was all that scare factor. There's this clapping, and it's funny. The girl's just sitting in the dark, and she lights a match, and these pair of hands come up behind her and go and clap, and everybody in the theater jumps and stuff. And that doesn't scare me anymore. It hasn't for a long time.
Makes sense.
I think I'd let it because I was really getting into Dead Space and everything. But one of my favorite moments though was the stalkers, the raptor type necromorphs, and you even get an achievement called Clever Girls, which is a Jurassic Park throwback. Those parts scared the crap out of me because I did not know where those stupid things were coming from.
If you just walk around with your flashlight out, you'll see their heads pop out. I would annihilate them with the javelin.
I use the Ripper.
I'd pin them bitches to the wall.
See, I use the Ripper for a good majority of the game because like, come at me, just set the saw right in front of me.
No, I'd let them run at me and shoot the javelin. You can pretty much kill them you can one shot them to the wall.
I use a line gun because I had it extended out to like 19 feet.
Oh,
and I had it powered up, and so you just shoot it
do
once.
that?
You mod it with all the nodules, and you get the thing, and it's super long. It goes and it extends out, and you just shoot it, and it'll take off all their limbs. 2 shots, and you can kill everything in a room because you just
awesome.
one shot at their legs, and they get up, and then you one shot across their their top limbs when they get back up to crawl towards you, and you just 1 shot or 2 shot everything.
I went through that game though, and it was because of the first one. I pretty much only used the plasma cutter besides like parts like that.
That's an achievement though, I think too, is be it with only the plasma cutter, which I
not
have.
2. 1 maybe.
Maybe
I went
the
through,
first one is
First one, that's an achievement.
That's too bad because I upgraded my plasma cutter all the way, and I love that gun. That and the pulse rifle.
I couldn't get into 2, man. I've tried.
Really?
I have it here. I've tried playing it. I have a kid that comes into the store. It's his copy. He was beating it into my head like, you have to play it. I got another hour or so into it. And I was just kind of like, man, I don't know. I guess it's they focus too much on Isaac Clarke. And like I said in the first one, I really didn't care for him. I just enjoyed the sheer the horror factor. I liked that it was survival horror. You were kind of I like the fact that you felt like you were alone. So there wasn't a need to talk. Why the fuck would you talk? You're by yourself out in the middle
Which
of
is
outer
scary
space.
by itself. Yeah, you're the only one in this ship amongst all these
I do
things.
feel I have to play it, especially every time I hear people talk about it. It makes me want to play the game.
I mean, if you have to get past that part, that's why I didn't like 1. I played 1, enjoyed it. I took it back because I worked at a video store then, so I was rented it for free, and I got back to it, and I was kind of like, I don't remember what I was doing. It's not that I hated the game. I just couldn't get back into it after my first initial try, so I was like, fuck it, I'll jump over to 2. I know what happened at the end of 1, so, why not play 2? And 2, it really, when you find out, all the shit that happens to Isaac from the first one to the second one, how he acts, it really makes the game. His whole fucking crazy factor, it really makes his character, and he makes him even still into 3. Yeah. 3's great. It really is. I enjoyed the shit out of 3.
And if you don't mind, we kind of segue into 3 here. Jacob.
Oh yeah, one more thing.
Okay, one more thing.
The eye poke part freaked Kimberly out, and the part of the end I didn't catch why, but there's that necromorph that cannot die.
Yeah, he's in all of the games.
He regenerates.
Yeah. Oh, he's in all the games?
Yeah.
He's in all of them.
Is it the same necromorph, or is it that
it's a type.
It's the bad guy. Especially the main villain.
Yeah.
It's their pyramid head.
Yeah.
It's their nemesis or their pyramid head. Yeah, he's the one that you have to run from. You have to run from him.
Yeah, you do.
Times.
You have to. You can't kill him, because I was doing something, and Kim's like, I think he's getting up. I just chopped him up. He's not... Oh, he is getting up.
Yeah, he always regenerates. You have to just stasis him.
Not in the first one. You incinerate his ass.
Oh?
Or you
trap him in
froze
that
him.
fucking incinerator deal. No,
In the center of the room.
The doors, and then burn him. The only reason I remember is because that might be my thing why I don't like Dead Space 2. Is because I played Dead Space 1 6 times. I beat that game a bunch of times. I loved it.
Don't you freeze one of them and shatter him or something like that too?
Yeah, I think.
Isn't that
the second one? The first one you burn. The second one
you cryostasis him and then shatter him, and he doesn't get back up. So, we move into Dead Space 3, and I'm okay with Isaac having a voice now because he really does become a character in the game, and because Justin and I are playing co-op, he's not the main character center focus point anymore, which really adds to the game that it's this group of people now, and it's not scary. Dead Space 3 is not scary at all.
No.
It's not even really a horror game. It's a survival game now. Yep. And I think that they've done a great job incorporating these other people into it, and the co-op is phenomenal. The only thing we made it into a fun joke. The only negative thing you could say about it is the ladder issue.
Yeah. Every time you walk to a ladder, you bring a big thing that says "partner needs more room." So I'll go down the ladder first, or we always race to ladders. Who can get up it first?
It becomes a joke for us.
And then he got to a ladder, or I got to the ladder before he did, and I just walked up behind it and I stood there, and he couldn't come down. He was stuck, and I walked back, and I run back into it again. So he's just inching his way down this ladder.
Wow.
It's pretty ridiculous, but that's really about it. I mean, the only true complaints that we found in it was they're too big. They just seem to get hung up on stuff. But other than that, it's awesome. The Carver and Isaac, you don't really get camaraderie like you do in Army of Two, but they talk to each other. And the thing is you get a different experience playing it single player, because I beat it single player, than what you do co-op.
And we were lucky that we borrowed your TV, Brad, and we went over to his house, and we just, because we're sitting there playing it together with the two TVs, we were able to experience this, because we probably never would have known had we not had that. And that's kind of sad, is if you're playing it here at your house, Brad, and I'm playing at my house, we were playing co-op, it is a completely different experience for each of us, because in one point in the game, Justin is playing as Carver, and I'm playing as Isaac, because it's actually my save we're playing from.
His game, and the cool thing is we'll get back to what Imsa's saying, is like, since I beat the game, everything I have is on my character. Like, everything that I've collected, all the guns that I have, all the health packs I have, everything.
All his supplies.
All my supplies, all the your currency, essentially, comes over. And I have all this crazy amounts of currency, and I can essentially help him if he can't do it. Like, I can make him his health packs, I can make everything for him. I can make blueprints, I can make guns, and share them with him. It's pretty cool.
Even though you're Carver?
Yeah, even though I'm Carver.
But see, one of my things that I loved about the first Dead Space, though, was the fact that it was hard, and it was truly, it felt like survival. It was like old school Resident Evil. You didn't have a shit ton of ammo. You didn't have a whole bunch of health rations. You had to use this shit tactfully.
Well, we are playing on normal.
We're all playing on normal. We're not trying to go through it hard.
Yeah, but
I was going to offer, if we do play it on the hardest difficulty, because it is to the point, too easy, because I got, when I pre-ordered it, I got, like, the best gun in the game. And that thing is fucking ridiculous. Like, you absolute destroy shit. The cool thing is when you're playing single player, like, all the puzzles you have to do, nothing happens. You're just doing a puzzle. But since we're playing his game, he's doing the puzzles. I have to protect him, or he's getting bombarded by monsters. Like, when it's single player, it doesn't happen that way. And even the cutscenes, I'm sorry for cutting you off, even the cutscenes are different.
Go ahead, Chicken.
The rifle you were using, the assault rifle shotgun, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's the
shotgun, or it's a shotgun on bottom and an assault rifle on top.
There's DLC you have to buy. You have to buy that gun? I mean, you guys usually pre-ordered it.
He bought the gun because he had extra points. I got it because I pre-ordered the game.
Otherwise, you would never.
You would never get that gun.
You can buy it. It's 400 Microsoft points.
It's 1,200 if you want all the weapons. And
yeah,
all
if you
the
get everything.
Yeah. Seems like it'd be worth it.
It's an awesome gun though. Like,
I bought the hazard pack for 2, which got me through a good portion of the game.
The suits don't do anything this time. They're all cosmetic. You can upgrade them, but they're all cosmetic.
I got the line gun from the hazard pack. And I don't remember what the other one was. The Ripper. I got the Ripper much earlier than I should have.
That's a lie. The Arctic suit that we got saved us from the cold. It was kind of like a Lost Planet-esque type thing where the temperature's really low, and instead of having a oxygen meter, you have a temperature gauge of how cold you are, and you have to run up and stand next to fires to keep yourself warm, and you run through it, and as your temperature gets colder, you're dying. So that's kind of neat. But getting back to the co-op experience, how different it is for each player, as we're playing through it, he's Carver. He starts hallucinating, and he starts seeing all this stuff, and I look up at the big screen and I go, dude, that's not on my TV. And the things that he's seeing, I'm not seeing.
Yeah, he doesn't see anything that I'm seeing. And he can't, like, on his TV, like, all the shit that's going on in Carver's head, he can't hear. Yeah. So I'm going to be like, dude, there's something going on. He'd be like, I don't see anything. So if we're playing, he's at his house, I'm at mine, I'm pretty much fucking telling him I'm going crazy.
Yeah. Because, dude, I don't see that. You're nuts. That's not really happening. And that's kind of cool that there are two very different experiences. And because Justin played it through single player, he said that in a couple of instances he goes, oh, this is way different when I did it by myself, or this, they changed it a little bit here. It's great.
It's awesome. It really is.
It's definitely one of, if not the best way that they've done co-op incorporating into the game. And again, I was the guy at the beginning said, these jerk-offs are doing this as a money grab to make sure that, 2 people spend $60 to get this. And just with the co-op, I think it's worth it alone. We haven't even done playing as the necromorphs and we
didn't do the actual online, which I played on Dead Space 2, and it's kind of lackluster.
Now, are you playing through the campaign again, or are you playing through like a co-op campaign?
We're playing through I'm playing through his campaign that he allows me to be in. Because what it is when you're playing by yourself, Carver's not around. Like, he's somewhere else. They always kind of talk about him and being with the other group of people, and Isaac's by himself. But since I'm with him now, it's his game, Carver just walks behind him. We're just there together. We're doing all the mission, or doing all the quests together. And then there are side quests that you can do that are only available if you're playing co-op. Yeah. And there's an achievement for that where you do, and they're all specific to Carver. Yeah, because you said something about you guys were on mission 10. I didn't know if you were... Yeah, we were on mission 10, but we did, 3 or 4 side missions already? Yeah. So it's great. I think that if you only have Dead Space 3,
you should definitely jump on to the co-op thing. You can go to a public match and have somebody else come in and play with you and help you out. Hopefully you can find somebody that not as a teabag. It's a new experience, and I think it's great. It adds to the game instead of just being a gimmick added on. It really does add to the storyline and give you a new experience stuff, especially if you get the guy, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool too. Like, I mean, they're essentially the same character.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like, let's say he's using, you can both use the bench at the same time. Like, he could be at the bench and I go use to change my suit. Like, he can watch me do all that stuff. Like, my guy will change, he moves differently, he waits, he talks shit. Like, if Isaac takes too long, Carver starts to talk shit to him. Like, you need a hand? You want me to do that for you?
Yeah, it's funny. Only thing that I didn't initially like the crafting system, but I've learned to adapt to it. I still prefer the nodes and things of 1 and 2, but I understand why they did it this way because of the co-op implementation. We're 10 of 16 chapters, you said?
Mm-hmm. 19.
Okay, we're out of 10, so we're a little halfway over the game, and I still feel like I'm always scrounging. You said, survival horror. I feel like, even with Justin's help, I'm still scrounging for supplies all the time. Not ammo or health packs, but stuff to make these items.
Well, that was my thing. Like, I was a hoarder. Like, I never made any other guns. Like, I had the one gun, so everything I had, I just kept.
And he has thousands of stuff now.
Yeah, I mean, even through the game, like, I wanted to make stuff, but I couldn't. I couldn't make guns because it costs so much to do it. And they have awesome guns, too. They have Mjolnir or whatever. Mjolnir. You
were talking about, remember you said that they have the Jurassic Park reference. Mm-hmm. And the names of the guns are all throwback references.
They have the Honey Badger. They have Sweep the Leg.
Thor's
Karate Hammer.
Kid.
There's a bunch of them, and the names of them are really cool. And you can get gun parts that help. Like, I can get a gun part that adds to both of our damage, or it'll both heal us, or it'll both give something or another. And like, I'm walking around, like, every bullet I shoot has stasis on it, so I slow things down, and he hits them with a shock, so fucking they just all start spazzing out.
Yeah, so he'll stasis him, and I'll hit him with an electrical shock. It's kind of neat. Another thing that's cool too is, as we're going around and we'll break the boxes or we'll smash their arms and legs off and stuff and the supplies pop out, it's different for each of us.
Yeah,
so,
he has his own supplies and I have my own.
So if I pick up ammo, I'll be like, hey, there's something over here. I'll pick it up and be like, oh, I just got ammo. It could be somatic gel for him.
So separate
loot drops, which is awesome too, so you're not struggling to get stuff that way. Which maybe in the hardcore mode it does share it. I don't know. Again, we're playing on normal. Yeah. So, if you put it on the higher difficulty, obviously it's going to be a little bit harder. Maybe the mechanics of the game does change on that level.
It does, though. It does progressively get harder, because as far as we've gotten, like, even with us having the best guns, like, we're both having to fucking pretty much empty our clips into things.
Oh, yeah. But do you ever use the stasis and the throwing stuff? Because I never did in Dead Space 2.
I did it to get the achievement, the stasis one, but I was at the end of the game by the time I realized those achievements existed, so I didn't get the throwing crap. I could usually kill stuff quick enough that I never thought about, like, I never was overwhelmed enough, even from 2 to 3, that I had to, like, rip off one's arm and shoot it at another, to pin it to a wall, and then shoot another thing. I never felt like that. I use it on brutes. I feel like if you play on hard, then yes, you'll probably have to do that a lot more.
It was really cool. There's one thing with the stasis. If you go down, it's like in other games, you have like 10 seconds to revive your dude. And you can double the time that if you're shooting, you can turn to your guy and you can stasis he can stasis Carver, or if I'm on the ground, he can stasis Isaac and kill everybody, and then come back and revive me because it slows your bleeding down, which is kind of neat. So just a lot of little things in there. They made it
pretty awesome angle to have covered.
It's kind of goofy, but it makes sense.
Yeah, they did a great job with it. I'm very impressed.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. Because it took us a while to get into it too, and like as we've gotten more into it, we're like, wow, this has turned out really, really well. So let's move on to Last of Us.
Yeah, I want to hear this because this game looks pretty.
I bought it yesterday on eBay for $45, so I will have it, and we'll be able to hopefully do some online play with this as well.
I'll let Brad take it. I'm farther than you in it, so.
What I've played so far, compelling.
Try not to spoil anything because
I'm not spoiling any of it. I'm not going to tell you anything that I've seen in the game. I'm not going to do any of that.
Don't hype it up too much too, because
well, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not. I'm going to de-hype it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Don't get so hyped up on it. It's not a masterpiece. It's a really good game. It's nice because it's refreshing that it's a good game. It is. It's a really good game. Like I think people are blowing it out of proportion, like kind of how people did with BioShock Infinite. Like it was an awesome game. Is it like something to go and like sacrifice your firstborn over, like some people make it sound like? Probably not. I'm not a big Naughty Dog fan for starters, and I didn't care for Uncharted. Let me start there. With that being said, the shooting mechanics are much better in this game, even though they're still wonky feeling. I like the fact that when Joel gets shot, it's not like in most games where you get hit with a bullet and your dude walks like he's a fucking Terminator robot. Like, you get hit and he goes down. Like, he falls back. He takes Joel time to recover. He doesn't just get back up and just, all right, go back to shooting. It feels very real. The violence factor is super awesome. Like, super awesome. Super, super, super awesome. Like, God, super awesome. Characters, from what I've played, are really very detailed. Their models are all really good. The voice acting is top notch, which is expected from Naughty Dog. They're really good at all that stuff. They do good games.
Is this a survival? I've seen plenty of previous
survival. I wouldn't say horror because I don't consider to me survival horror is Resident Evil, Silent Hill.
The apocalypse now.
Deadspace.
Are you mainly just fighting other humans?
Well, it's infected humans that are infected with like a fungal type thing that infects your brain. And this is from something I read. I don't even know if it's 100% right. Justin can tell me I'm wrong here in a minute. Oh, he's nodding, so I must be kind of spot on.
It's what it is it's a virus, and the virus pretty much kind of turns your head into a giant rock fungus. And I don't know if you've gotten to the part where you've seen clickers yet.
Yeah,
have you seen? Cool. Yeah, clickers have no eyes. They click to
like bats.
Yep, like
bats.
They
kind of look like bats with rock faces.
Yeah, and you can't just run up on a clicker and knock it out. Like, you have to stun it. You have to do things to it to kill it. Because if it grabs you, it kills you like that.
Unless
you get bit
shank.
Once you're done. Well, unless you have a shank, and if there's an upgrade you can do to kind of prevent that, but. If you've had this virus for a long time, you basically die turning into a zombie-esque cannibal. But ones that have had it for a long time, it manifests and turns your head into a giant, fungus. And you see some that are like grafted to walls, and there's plants and fungus that release spores that you see, and you can't breathe in the spores or you get infected. So it's pretty good.
There are certain parts where you have to wear a gas mask on and stuff so you don't breathe in this. The simple fact that if you get attacked by one of these things, like if a runner runs on you, which is like a typical one of them. That's a guy that looks more or less like one of us. I don't say they're zombies as much as they remind me more of an infected from 28 Days Later, like rage type thing. If they run up on you, you can battle them off for the runners. And if you don't, if they still bite you, you die. It's not like Resident Evil, like, I'm bit by a zombie, I use some green herb and I'm okay. No, you're infected with a disease that makes you die and get pretty much reanimated. You die. Which I think is awesome. Like that, I'm not gonna lie. The first time it happened, I got killed by a clicker because I just didn't hit square. Because I had a shank to stab it in the throat, and I was like, I don't want to use my shank, so I didn't. I let it kill me. On top of the fact I was kind of curious as the cutscene, because I do like to see kill scenes and character deaths in video games. Because some companies do awesome ones, and this one is one of those. Like, that thing ripped into my throat. And it was pretty brutal. And then it instantly, boom. And then I came across a runner, and I didn't hit square twice in a row on time. And he literally did the same thing. He bit me, and I died. And I sat there at first. I'm like, he only bit me. And I was like, wow. I was like, they went to such lengths to make sure that, you're bit, you're infected. You don't have a cure. There is no cure. Like, this disease has ruined the world.
What's the point of the game, though?
The point of the game, well, the way the game starts off is just normal every day. Ends up happening is Joel, his brother, and his daughter, shit just goes bananas, quick. Like that. It just happens.
There's no need to tell you. It's that compelling. You'll probably cry. If you are an emotional person, you'll fucking feel bad within the first 40 minutes of that.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed.
I'm not going to lie to you. It talked on my heart.
Bastards.
Yeah, I don't give an absolute shit most about people, but it tugged on the heartstrings. I was just like, oh god.
And that's what I'm telling him. Don't. It's worth playing. It really is. I usually will sit there and just ruin a game for somebody without you giving two shits.
And here's the thing too. It's not like it just happens once. You literally feel for the character, because I'm a lot farther than he is. I don't know if it's because I play it 2 hours at a time or 3 hours at a time, but I feel like I've been playing the game for a year. It feels uber long.
J-Rock that I work with, he's a trophy hound. This kid, he does not fuck around when he plays video games. He said it took him 15 hours to beat the game. Which, that's awesome. And this kid, legit, well, he was saying it took him a while because he praises the multiplayer. It's one of the reasons I bought it, was to play the campaign and then try to get you guys multiplayer with me.
That's why I bought it too. I was like, well, I was going to borrow Justin's when he beat it, like I do most games, and I thought, well, I want to own my own copy so we can sit down and play multiplayer and try this out.
Well, the cool thing is, you feel compelled. Like, you feel like you don't have shit. Like, bullets, you don't fucking have dick for bullets. You don't have dick for health packs. You don't have dick for anything. You have to search and search and search for these things so you can make shanks, so you can make Molotovs, whatever you need to make. Like, you find the ingredients, and the thing is, you don't find a pair of scissors and there's your shank. You find, like, a broken scissors, and you need, like, more sharp stuff.
Binding.
And, yeah, you need to be able to bind it together to actually make it. Like, it has, like, almost like a percent thing. Like, you'll see the bubble, and it'll have, instead of a full circle, it'll have, it's kind of like a pie chart. Like, it'll be, like, a quarter or half, or even a third or fourth of it's gone. So you have to get even more to make sure you have a complete...
Of that item.
The thing that sold me on it was when I went over to Justin's house for Thursday night fight night and he was playing it. But I got to Justin's and I was not aware that you got to play as the little girl, which really isn't a spoiler, I guess, in a sense. But she is badass.
Ellie's a bad bitch.
That little girl is a fucking monstrosity. Like, she's just ridiculous. Like,
I didn't know you got to play as a little girl.
oh
That's
yeah,
cool.
and I'm not gonna lie, like, I saw that part at Justin's house and I went to Trade It and Remember Me the next day and bought Last of Us.
So
Yeah.
this is a buy?
Oh,
It's definitely a buy.
If you
Joel's
play-
amazing. He's compelling to play with. Ellie, she's amazing. She's great AI.
It's a 15-hour game for $60, unless you can find it used like I did for $45, which is going to be a great deal. And you guys haven't even touched the multiplayer. When I get it next Thursday, we'll play it next week.
I'll be on the multiplayer probably tonight.
Oh, okay, you suck.
Yeah, my buddy J Rock was like, "You gotta play that multiplayer." I was like, "Yeah."
There's really cool stuff too, and I'll throw this out there. It's not a spoiler, but like you can pick up like bricks, bottles, and stuff to throw them to distract people. I kill people that way. I'll hit you in the face with a brick, and I'll run up and hit you with my pipe and destroy your head.
You can just run up and hit.
Yeah,
people.
you can just straight sprint and one hit and destroy whatever you hit. Like, they are done. Like, even clickers. Like, you can't, like, if you don't have a melee weapon, then you can't attack a clicker. But I'll whip a bottle at its face and then run up and hit it with a... And you can actually tie shivs to sticks or pipes to kill, one hit kill anything. And you will straight destroy even like normal guys, because you fight humans, runners, and clickers. And then there's other things.
And then there's two other ones.
So one question real quick is it one of those where, okay, so you run up on a guy, you hit him with your billy club that has the shiv on the end of it, is it destroyed?
It is broke.
Yeah,
It's
there
broke.
is-
It is broke. And
Now,
the cool thing
Is it break to 50% and you can repair it back to 100, or is it broke 0, gone out of your inventory?
the shiv is broke. You have to reattach a new shiv to it. The shiv is
The
gone.
shiv.
But you get to keep the pipe.
Yeah, the pipe. But each pipe, baseball bat,
Planko 2x4.
plank, yeah, whatever you grab, has so many hits. You hit someone so many times, it breaks. You can find upgrades in the, and you actually find instruction manuals, like it'll say, increase melee, so and so. But it tells you, like, if you tie a knot, like, you can read the things. If you tie a knot in this blah blah blah, it'll make it stronger. Like, every little thing you collect, there's like you can read on how to do everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was one of the things I actually like about it, because I'm a like big sucker for like background shit that they do for games, like stuff like that, like notes and dumb things they leave. And I have to say, that's one of the coolest things about it, is trolling around the levels, finding all this stuff. Because when you pick it up, like you said, you can literally, when you go to your backpack, he puts it on the ground and pulls up, looks through his backpack for this stuff, and you can read everything.
I think the special $100 edition of this, you get the book. You get you get the instructional manual of how he makes the stuff or whatever.
Bastard was
Oh,
heavy.
really?
Yeah, and the $100 big
Yeah, the
giant.
bastard was heavy. It was heavier than the statue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A box of 6 of those was heavier
It's
than one box
it's
of the
awesome
statue.
though. Like I said, I'm not really a game where I explore a lot, but like if I go into an area, I literally search everything, because you can find nuts and bolts and stuff, and you can upgrade your guns, you can upgrade your backpack, and like you'll have a shotgun on your left, you'll have arrows on the right, and you'll have your melee weapon hanging off. And you have a gun in your pants. You can make a weapon holster so you can carry another gun, another handgun.
How are the controls with it? Solid? I mean, you said
Very
that
solid.
You said it's kind of floaty, that Naughty Dog
Yeah,
floaty
it's got
feel.
that floaty feel with the shooting.
Well, the shooting isn't the greatest until you upgrade it. Once you upgrade it, then it's awesome.
So it's a dice roll shoot.
No, it's like he points his gun up and it's real. Like he's not a marksman. He's gonna sway his arm. You can upgrade to do certain things, and you get an upgrade where like he has a steadier hand.
Right, so at the beginning of the game, he's a guy who starts shooting.
Yeah, he's just like, but if you upgrade it, like I
It's
upgraded
better.
it just once,
and I can headshot like no one's business.
That makes sense though, because he's just a guy.
And there's no lock on. It's not like you can lock onto someone's head. Like if they're running at you, you're trying to aim to make sure you don't waste your bullet. And that's the thing that I found is just you can't run and gun. Like you only get so many bullets, and once they're gone, you have to go scavenge around to find more. And you won't find like 10 bullets. You'll find like 2.
You got listeners, go out and buy The Last of Us. Get it where you can. Scavenge it up. Let's move on to the end. And Brad is going to have Gamers ADD this week. He's going to tell us about a little game here at the end, and then Jacob will finish off with his random game of the week as well.
Well, in between my trying to swallow, play, stomach, whatever you want to call it, remember me, I came across on my PS3 a little game from the PlayStation Plus setup called Labyrinth Legends.
Labyrinth Legends
And,
on the PS3?
Yes.
You got it free?
It's free. Oh yeah, man, it's PlayStation Plus, huh?
Okay, so, well, it's free for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I don't know how much it costs. I just downloaded it because it's PlayStation Plus. I download everything that's on their network just because it's worth downloading. Really fun game. This weird like story of pretty much you're about to marry some chick. Bad guy comes and steals her. So the guy leaves the church, and when he leaves the church, the map kind of reminded me of Castle Crashers. Very like papery looking, like drawn up map. You go to each of the little levels. God's eye view and on the worlds, and when you go into the levels like that, where you're looking down on your guy, and your character looks like someone from Castle Crashers. So like you can get helmets for him, armor, different weapons, all that stuff. And you walk around just beating the tar out of stuff. It's just pretty much walk around, mashing it up.
You're trying to get your girlfriend,
yeah, you're trying to
wife
save
back?
your wife, fiance, whatever you want to call her. I didn't get a whole lot into it, or I should say, actually, I got pretty far into it. It's just really long, like Castle Crashers. So I haven't beat it yet, but completely enjoyable.
For free?
For free. I can't say.
PlayStation Plus, go download it, play it.
I can't complain at all.
How much
Especially-
was out PlayStation Plus?
I didn't pay any attention. I want to say it was probably $5 knowing Sony. They're usually very fair price on their DLC. Next one I'm going to buy, though, Dungeons and Dragons. So if you guys got PS3s, the old arcade one,
Oh, yeah.
you can play a 4-player multiplayer from my understanding.
XCOM was the other game.
XCOM was
It was the other game for free that they added. We were like, he's like, hey, did you see they added
Bureau?
Deus Ex?
Or not, no, that's it.
Enemy Unknown.
Enemy Unknown.
Yeah.
That's a really good RTS strategy.
Yeah, that was that, and Deus Ex. I know I say it wrong.
But that was
Finish
Deus, it. It's Deus Ex, by the way.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Like it's Deus
The
Ex.
game
I
is
know.
awesome, by the way.
I know, Deus Ex.
My game of the week is on Steam. I got it for $2.49, but it's currently on sale for $5. I think you would love this game, Justin, because it's all 80s and 90s cliches.
What is it?
It's the Showdown effect.
The Showdown effect.
2D multiplayer. What would you call it? Like not side scroller, but kind of like Smash TV. Not like Smash TV. It's a shooter and it's melee, and you have to put your
Like
cursor.
Contra?
It's like Worms?
Contra, yes, but
Like
you have
Worms Armageddon?
no, because it's fast paced.
I'm gonna say, what you're describing sounds like Worms Armageddon.
It's kinda
Side scroller,
weird.
crossover, like gamers.
You explained it so well a second ago on the right here.
It's side scroller and it's like Contra, but your
Just tell them about some of the fun stuff.
cursor has to be on the characters. If it's behind them or in front of them, it doesn't hit them. But basically, like the character you get is supposed to be like Sylvester Stallone. He has that stupid accent. He has really stupid one-liners. There's the kung fu guy from Kill Bill, the master with the crazy mustache.
Hi, man.
You have all kinds of weapons you can buy. You have all kinds of outfits you can put on them. And the one match I played was all melee. And so we just all ended up at the bottom of the map, just smacking the crap out of each other. People would bring in an axe and kill somebody. They would pick up a piece of wood, just start smacking people. And then towards the end of the match, it said the Showdown effect. And everybody got super pumped up, and we were all smacking the crap out of each other even faster. And it's just a very fast-paced game, and it's a lot of fun. But like I said, there's all kinds of weapons, there's all kinds of maps.
So
And
it's the name of the game is the Showdown effect,
yeah.
and it's $5 or on sale for
And
$2.50.
$10 normally.
$10 normally.
One of the multiplayer games that IMSA thought was pretty funny was the Expendables. One team is the Expendables, the other team are the Henchmen. When one person dies in the Expendables, they have a 10-second respawn. So if I die, I got 10 seconds. But if you die, crap, now I'm up to 20 seconds. We both have 20. So if the Henchmen wipe out all the Expendables, they win. Each team plays 2 rounds as the Henchmen, 2 rounds as the Expendables. One neat thing about it has built-in Twitch. Do you guys know about Twitch? The whole game streaming thing?
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Certain parts of the map are kind of thin, so you can drop through them. Like a couple of times I dropped into the fight and like smacked one guy and stole the kill pretty much.
How many people are playing at a time?
As far as I can tell, just 10, but there has to be more.
5 or 10 versus 10?
I kept playing free for alls.
Okay. So
because I think there's a bit more people playing right now because it's on sale and everybody's new, so an overabundance of servers.
all right. So the Showdown Effect on Steam on sale for $5 right now.
Yeah,
Go
pick
try
it up if you're on Steam. Go pick it up if it's still on sale. It's fun.
Cool. Any shout outs here? Anything to finish off with, gentlemen?
Yeah. Everybody go pick up or pre-order your copy of Payday the Heist 2 Collector's Edition. No, the reason I say this is because if you're a Payday fan, Payday the 2 Collector's Edition is $59.99. The game normally is going to be $40. Usually I wouldn't even do this, but I read what the Collector's Edition comes with. You get one of the latex robber's mask. The masks are fucking awesome. If you play the game, you know this. So I just want to let everybody know because it's something that's going to go under the radar. So if any of our listeners want, it is worth the get. On top of the fact, you should just play Payday anyways.
All right, let's do it, guys. Let's go spend $60 on a $40 game.
When's it come out?
It's a $40 game with a like $80 mask.
All right, say goodbye,
August?
guys.
When's it come out?
August.
August.
August 26th.
That sounds right.
You're guessing. It has to be a Tuesday. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.